Do that now?
Yeah, if you want to. There's a little bit of a delay, so whatever, like that's why I go radio silence for like 10 seconds.
I pushed it.
It pushed it. It's too late now. We're on our way, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're live. We're live. I can see it.
Well, I can't.
But you can, right, because you don't have your YouTube. But if you have your YouTube control panel up, then you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, I do.
Oh. There's no in the top left, there's no preview screen.
Maybe.
I don't see it pulling up on my phone yet.
We are running at high capacity, ladies and gentlemen. I know we're live because I see us. I have the regular screen put up here. So we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Special edition. We're on Evan Burgoyed's channel, Beers with Bad Company. We're switching it up. I'm teaching Evan. He's like my little baby that I've just held and carried through this internet wasteland. And now I'm freeing him into the savannah. Go forth, Evan.
I'm going to say that you're not as good as a teacher as you thought. Because all I got is an error and some duplicate stream key.
Oh, geez. Well, we are live. I mean, you might not be able to see it, but we are successfully on the internet right now.
Yeah. Is there anything in the chat? Because
yeah.
Well,
so your chat, your control panel chat is just completely dead.
Yeah.
Try just refreshing the page. Refresh the whole page.
I did that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, no, man. I do not know. We got White Wolf in here. We got John Babbitt's Sasquatch, Billy Collins, Raw Torque. Let's see.
Well, I got a live chat there now.
Oh, that's good. That's good progress.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
it's like we got 20 people watching in here right now.
I guess I can deal with that as is.
Yeah. It's all right.
It's the best it's going to get, I guess. I'm
first go around.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it then. Lincoln, tell us about yourself. What's going
on? From Kentucky down here, in the middle of the U.S. It's cold as can be. Probably not as bad as y'all are, but
yeah.
Yeah, we live in Canada.
Please go ahead. Tell me about how fucking cold it is in Kentucky.
It just feels so much worse here. You guys are Celsius, Fahrenheit. It's cold. It's about 10 today. We got about 3 inches of snow, which is like a blizzard down here. Nobody knows how to drive. Businesses.
Yeah, no plows, no none of that, I suppose.
Yeah, we're right on the edge where we should know what we are doing, but we don't. Yeah, so it's cold. I started Derby City Arm Wrestling about 2.5 years ago. It's just a little bitty club, a bunch of amateurs. I got into it for some YouTube videos, thanks to Juji. And I wanted people to pull with, so I got on Arm Bet and started bringing them in, put them in my house. One guy, he built me a table, and we went from there. Now we got about 20, 25 members. We hang out with, I don't know if you're familiar with Mike West, Arms About Jesus Christ. They got a club about an hour north, so we collaborate with them a little bit. We get a lot of our expertise from them just because they've been pulling a lot longer than us.
Yeah, Mike's not bad.
Mike's been pulling at least 727 years.
Yeah.
Now he's a world champ, isn't he?
Yeah.
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 He's done it all.
He's
like pretty sure he's a multiple time world champ.
If you, I think in Masters for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm pretty sure he was a world champ from back in the old Northeast board days. Yeah. I remember seeing all those blue stars underneath his name.
Probably more than I even could think of.
Walking into his bedroom feels like Michael Todd's like trophy room.
Yeah.
Like it's just lined everywhere. Pictures of him with everybody. Like I can't name everybody he's got pictures with. So.
Cool.
So he's kind of our Jedi, our Yoda. We go to him for very technical stuff. We got John Quinn and Austin Jaggers as our big boys. Both of them are they are about the same level, really.
Austin's a big dude. I still can't figure out how he's still ranked in the 242s on In the Hook. Because he's like fucking 290.
Yeah. He passed 300 a little bit last month. And then he was like, ooh, I'm going to stay. I don't like that 3 on there. So he's about 298 right now.
Yeah, I saw 298 on the scale last spring. And I took the scale and I put it away. Like that bitch can stay in the corner until it wants to behave. I didn't pull it out till I was well under. Like, oh, fuck. I can actually see my wiener again. We'll pull the scale out and see what's up.
Surprised you can with the beard there. Doesn't poof out too much.
Nah, the beard wasn't that big back then. It keeps growing. So, Austin pulling Wayne Withers. Most people are going to know who Wayne is. I don't think most people are going to be very familiar with Austin. I know who he is. And strong as fuck. Not a great arm wrestler.
We're getting there.
Wayne.
How long has he been going for?
How long has he been pulling for?
Yeah.
Probably 5 or 6 years. I would say seriously for about 4. Very seriously. Mm-hmm. Powerhouse his whole life. College football player. Just power. He probably could have been an elite level power lifter if he went that route over arm wrestling. I can't attest to football skills, but power, just squat, bench, deadlift, whole 9 yards out the roof.
Yeah. Just trying to be a stronger guy against a guy like Wayne Withers. That's a tough draw. That is one of those guys that you really got to have some type of finesse abilities to get in there and mix it up with a guy like Wayne. His arm is so long. His hand is so good. It's that's a tough one for Austin, I think.
Yeah, we're excited at the opportunity. Arm wrestling uncensored was where this came from. Somebody on there was like, "Hey, where the super heavyweights at?" And so I texted him like, "What you think? We can make it." Travis is down there. Jaggers and Travis are cool, so
should be good. There's a few good super matches coming. So the super matches start tomorrow at 9.
That's what I heard.
Or is it 7?
I heard 9. I think 9 is Todd and Lachlan. I don't know about the others. I don't know if they're before or after.
Eastern?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's in Virginia?
Mm-hmm. Purcellville, Virginia.
No, it was the arm wrestling. The tournament starts at 7. And they were expecting to have like 235 entries, have it run on 5 tables, 5-minute break before the final 2 in each weight class, which will then be run on 2 tables. And the super matches start at 9 p.m. sharp.
Yep, that's what Travis said. 2 hours for the tournament. I'm like,
Well, 5 tables.
Man, that would be impressive.
Well, Travis does run the events pretty well. Like everything seems to stay organized when he's running those events. He does them quickly. When you got 5 tables, you've got that many refs that you've got to pay. Like you kind of need to have that running efficiently.
Yeah, for sure.
But 235 entries and having all the weight classes done within 2 hours, it's going to be impressive if they can get that done and have the super matches start promptly at 9 then. But they only have what for super matches? Would be Austin and Wayne. Well, I guess the first one will probably be Damon and Kelly.
Yeah.
And then Austin and Wayne. And then Travis and Brandon. And then Lachlan and Todzilla is the main event, or is Travis putting himself as the main event?
Get out of here. If he does that, I'm going to boo him.
They're going to need to have the delay on the feed because I will be typing in boo a lot.
Yeah.
It's his comeback match. You know, he's trying to build himself back up. You don't take a tune-up match and put yourself as the main event when you've got Lachlan versus Todzilla.
Yeah.
Right?
It would be ridiculous.
But what's an easier match to call? Lachlan and Todzilla or Travis and Brandon?
I would say I would be more confident with, it's really hard because you don't know where Travis's head is at.
Right? It's left-handed though.
It's left-handed. Travis is always going to be like, even at his very worst, he's still God level. Yeah. Right. So even
I've
if
seen him take some shitty win or some shitty losses just because he didn't give a fuck. He wasn't training, whatever. I'm
that's
getting
it.
paid to show up.
Is that what this is? Is he just, putting his name on the card to elevate the card a little bit? Or is this truly him saying, okay, you see what John Brzenk did? I'm going to do that because I want a king of the table payday.
Well, there's that. He's been very vocal about him being jealous over other guys getting this stuff, and he thinks that it should be him. And that's the whole reason behind the comeback, and that's why he's taking an easier match as a tune-up and then working his way towards this Cody Merritt match 6 months from now. And who knows what else he's got on the go. But
match.
Why would he put himself on the card on his own event? Like, so what, is he just going to pay himself? He's going to pay himself the same whether he's pulling or not, right? So I really can't see it being for the money for him on this one, because he's running the event. He's getting the money anyways.
Yeah.
So to me, I would think that he's actually using this as his first tune-up match. He started training. That's what I'm thinking.
If we go with the assumption that Travis is or has started training in some capacity, then you have to give a tremendous, odds favor to Travis, because he is that good. Whether you want to give it to him or not, he is.
He's also what, 270 pounds?
Yeah, and Brandon is 240.
No, I don't think Brandon's ever been 240.
No, 230-ish.
225. Like, I mean, he's a big 225.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been like, I've in my mind, in the last 2 years, he's grown a lot.
He has, but the weight, like the scale doesn't show a massive difference. Like, he was pulling 200 not that long ago, but you look up at 200 and you're like, how the fuck is that guy 200 pounds?
Right.
So
that is a big, it could be a 30 to 50 pound, weight difference. And the height difference is going to be fairly significant as well.
Well, Brennan's what, 5'11", 6 foot?
I would guess. And Travis is
6'2", 6'3".
Everything with Travis, though, is just, I feel like Travis is just about get high, and I'm not so sure if that's a good thing for Brandon.
Brandon's got a good hand. He's got a solid arm to back it up. We'll see what kind of shape Travis is in. I think that's going to be the deciding factor, is whether or not Travis is actually taking this serious and putting in some work, or if he's just showing up off the couch.
If I were just doing one bet out of the four, though, I feel like Todzilla is just such a safe bet, because we know where he's at. We know how good he's looking. I think a lot of people underestimated him against Corey West, and a lot of people don't want to do that again. So I just feel like there's a lot of confidence there.
For me on that one, I do favor Todzilla, but Australia is still very unknown, really. Like, we know what was, we know what kind of is, kind of might be. But the match to me is just really interesting. I would like to see Lachlan do well. I hope it's not a blowout either way.
Could be.
Yeah.
I have no idea how they're going to go with that. It's that I would think is one of the toughest matches to call. Well, yeah. Realistically, all of these super matches are fairly close. I would say the most mismatched one would be Austin and Wayne.
Yeah. Right where we like to be, ready to surprise.
How short notice was this?
Man.
Like 2 days?
Yeah, yesterday we confirmed it. Yesterday afternoon. So like me and Jaggers actually pulled like 3 days ago, 4 days ago. Now I'm chump change. It was a workout for me, not for Jaggers. Like, I'm sitting there and he's just letting me work my position. So he didn't get much. But
I wouldn't arm wrestle with my 11-year-old daughter 3 days out from an event.
Especially when it gets Wayne Withers.
It's way too much stress on the arm when you're already coming in as an underdog. If Austin does anything in this match, I will now be extremely surprised.
Well, you got to admire the screw it.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go.
Let's rip. I like that.
I mean,
you're coming in.
We're on a pay-per-view and we get to meet all these badass pullers, and we learn something. You know, we learn we're not.
Yeah,
quite
there's no losing.
Yeah.
There's no losing in it for him. He doesn't have to win the match. He's not expected to. If he can do anything at all, it's going to be impressive on his end. You get, people get to see you doing anything. It's cool getting your name out there.
Yep. And
just driving across the country and getting to meet people and just hang out at events is fucking awesome anyways. So it's win-win for him. But that's a tough match. It's a tough match. And I know what it's like being the underdog. I prefer being the underdog in the world's eyes. I don't want to be the underdog really in my eyes. I like thinking I'm going to win when I go there. Like the one now that everybody thinks I'm going to fucking lose because they're all fucking assholes.
Oh, man.
Now, the guys in the chat were asking if my match with Schoolboy was right or left. It is right-handed whenever I pull Schoolboy.
Yeah. Arm Wrestling Uncensored was very convinced that Travis is going to be jumping on these cards because now things are really going to be moving to pay-per-view. So then it gets more pay-per-view hits when his name is on there.
Have either of you guys paid for the pay-per-view yet?
Yeah.
You have.
The pay-per-view, like on Ryan's channel there?
Yeah.
Now, do you buy the pay-per-view separately or?
So basically you sign up for a month at a certain level, which is like $4.99. I don't know what currency, that US probably.
So it'd be like being one of your maniacs, except for Ryan?
Yeah. So then either you sign up for it, and if you're signed up for it during the pay-per-view, you get to see the pay-per-view, and then you'd have to like just cancel it if you don't want that every single month.
So ideally for Ryan, he would want another pay-per-view next month.
Yeah. So
people don't cancel.
All going. Yeah.
Which is awesome. I think
it's a brand new way to do the whole thing. And it's if they can keep it consistent, I think it could be gangbusters for sure.
Yeah. Ryan seems to be pretty smart in that regard.
Yeah.
So how was it that got on Ryan's channel?
I'm sure it was some kind of dealing between him and Paul Italia and Travis, and they came together and they wanted to do some kind of pay-per-view thing. And if they were going to do the pay-per-view, they want it to be on a really big platform. And, Bowen is over 50,000 people now subscribed. So,
So this is how Ryan sponsored for Lachlan to go to the event, was by putting the pay-per-view on his page kind of thing.
Maybe that I'm sure there was some type of deal that was worked out. I haven't talked to Ryan about it at all, but yeah, I mean, if you have the ability and the wherewithal and the platform, like that, it's really interesting because we could start getting more money flowing, and I think if arm wrestling starts to open, especially in the aspects of money and not just interest, but money, then we're going places.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
It's a good time for streaming in general. So, I mean, why not? Everybody's stuck at home. It seems like everybody's stuck at home for another couple months. So why not subscribe?
That is it. Marcus L wants to know, do Ryan's members need to pay an additional $4.99 for the event? I don't think so. You just have to be at or above that pay-per-view level, but go to the membership page on Bowen's channel. It has it all explained there.
Yeah. And cybernetic modules, I am historically left on, and I'm right-handed, but the majority of my best performances have been left-handed throughout my career. Not all of them. There's been plenty of days where the right hand does way better than the left, but historically the left's pretty good. But right now, my left arm is not better than my right. I've been completely neglecting it. I stopped masturbating with my left and everything. It's all right hand, everything, getting ready for Schoolboy. Is that weird that you would switch masturbation tactics to get ready for a Schoolboy?
Well, when you put it that way.
Oh, I never did before, but now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Why am I thinking about that?
I don't know. Thanks for putting that in my brain.
Why are you thinking about that?
Geez.
Stop thinking about me masturbating. It's weird.
Holy smokes. Ooh, doggy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the party, by the way. We got 53 people in the chat right now. all sorts of good people in here. I saw Mazel Jador tapping in, White Wolf. Who else? Arm Wrestling Uncensored has been here. The Beaver Pumper was here. How about that?
I love the Beaver Pumper. That dude's fucking
Man,
hilarious.
we got to get regular tournaments going so the Beaver Pumper can come back.
Oh, that dude is out of his fucking mind. He's amazing. He is easily one of my favorite arm wrestlers I have ever met in the world.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of good things out of the bottom 8, but he was up there near the top of what we got out of that.
He's like the only good memory I have of the bottom 8.
I believe that, actually. Yeah.
Well, that and me trying to kidnap Lava. That was funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we think these matches are somewhat close, some of them anyways. What do you guys think about the amateur match that has somehow made its way as the first amateur match in history to be on a pay-per-view?
I love it. I think the guys at Arm Wrestling Uncensored did a fucking fantastic job of like just pushing an amateur super match so far down everybody's fucking throats that people actually give a shit about it. It has never been done. When I've got new guys on my team, it's hard to care. And they're on my fucking team. Yet I'm like personally invested in this match. I want to see who's going to win now. So they did a fucking fantastic job of that. And it's easy when you got a guy like Damon.
Did you see Devin's little clip at the beginning? Oh my God. I love it. A little Easter egg.
Oh man, that guy. He'd knock all 3 of us out in like a third of a second.
He said he's going up to 200 after. And I don't know. I know a good amateur in the 200s that
a guy that has never been 160 pounds in his life. He's been training elite world record strength for 10 years. He's going to put on 40 fucking pounds in 1 year without performance enhancing drugs. Either this guy truly is the most elite athlete we've ever seen that can't actually do anything, or he's so full of shit and he actually believes it. You can decide for yourself on that. I'd start a poll, but fuck, I don't even know how to read.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes. They have pulled before.
And Damon won, right?
Yeah, Damon won in the strap, I believe. Oh, you got a big super chat that just popped in here.
Oh, pancakes for turkey. Oh, I'll be showing up plenty full of fucking pancakes then for sure.
Nice. Sean, you got to say the name. Sean Brophy.
Sean Brophy. Thank you very much. That is fantastic.
Nicely done.
So now by pancakes. Pancakes.
Yeah, pancakes. Pancakes. Yes.
Dude, I've been trying to put on weight since the schoolboy match got announced. Like, I don't know if I went through this before or not on one of the lives. I'm always drunk, so I don't remember. But I weighed in like 242 for a tournament not so long ago, the one that we held here.
Yeah.
And then I lost that match to Dustin. Now, I wasn't planning on pulling in the event at all, right? I was running it. So I'm like, I'm going to be way too fucking busy. And I got so frustrated, and people, man, trying to run a tournament, if you've never done it, don't. It fucking sucks. It's irritating as hell, especially if you got to like, if you're running it and your team's there and your team is full of fucking drunk retards like mine is, which is great when you're trying to have fun and practice with the guys. But when you're trying to like seriously focus on things and run the event, and every one of these drunk fuckers wants to come over and they're messing your table up, and you're like, I'm going to beat up half of my team here today. I was so fucking frustrated. Jason Constantini from the Table Monkeys, he actually came over. He's like, Evan, well, right hand's done. My left arm's still on the shelf. I'll take over this. You get the fuck out of here. Go enjoy your day. Go have a fucking beer. You can pull left hand. I'm like, fucking right. This is a good deal.
Nice.
So I hopped in the tournament. Now, Dustin beats me. I was at practice 2 days before. I was not at my best. So they move him above me in the rankings. And I'm like, well, fuck that. I'm going to take some actual rest. I'm going to show up and take that spot back. So I did. And I think I did it pretty handily. I I was very clear that he should not be ranked ahead of me with anything that you can see in the match.
Yeah, I think that was clear.
Yeah. The best thing he did was throw me off the stage, which was a very classy move. Yeah. But from there, so I got up to like 255. I weighed in at 265, but I had a beer and a hot dog in my hand, wearing my coats and everything else. So I was like 255.
Yeah.
Right. And then the schoolboy match got announced shortly after that. So I was wanting to go like down and just stop being a fat piece of shit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But then I get a schoolboy match and he's probably showing up at like 270. So I don't want to be showing up little. So, okay, well, fuck this diet thing. I'm just going to eat everything I can. All eating all the time. Try to put on some weight. Can't fucking do it. I'm now 251. I went down in weight.
You better get to Hardee's. You guys have Hardee's?
Yeah, we got them. I mean, I've been stuffing in the McDonald's and the Wendy's, and they brought the portobello bacon burger back like today. So that's going to help. That's going to help.
Are you a Wendy's guy? Because the Baconator I find is
it's too greasy for me. If I'm not hungover, I can't handle that much grease at once.
Yeah, it is a lot.
But that mushroom melt, ooh, big fan.
Y'all tried Wendy's breakfast? Y'all have that in Canada?
No breakfast at Wendy's, I don't think.
No.
Oh my gosh, it's like best breakfast in America right now.
Nobody wants to fucking try to fuck with breakfast when we got Timmy's on every corner. Like Timmy's, they run breakfast.
Too many.
Y'all had a maple syrup drought this year, right? I read something about like the government releasing like millions of gallons to
500 million gallons out of the Federal Reserve. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably why you're so short on weight.
That's Devin's fault. Everybody saw all the pancakes.
I'm pretty sure all his came from America. I think we all mailed that to him.
Well, he did have a lot of it mailed to him, but the majority of what he was drinking was like fresh, natural, local maple syrup. Like with that real high natural sugar content. And not the processed stuff. So it's like immediate energy for him. I'm not kidding. The dude would literally be drinking out of a jug of maple syrup at practice. His arm wrestle with one hand and just drinking syrup. It was ridiculous.
I've probably never had, us Americans probably never had good maple syrup. Even if it's like supermarket, really, really good fresh stuff, it's probably still trash.
I would tell you that most Canadians haven't had good maple syrup. And there is a big difference between good fresh maple syrup and that store-bought and shit. Yeah.
Do you want to let anyone else in? I have a couple of requests.
Sure. I mean, we can get up to 4.
Yeah.
4 is not a big deal.
Daggers may be available here in a bit. He's heading towards the house. So if y'all are interested in him.
Wouldn't mind having Austin in. Like, so what, you guys are leaving in the morning to drive?
Yeah, about 5 or 6 a.m.
So how long is the drive?
About a little less than 9 hours. The snow, we're planning an extra couple hours.
That's a decent drive. So so he is driving 9 hours after just practicing 3 days ago. To pull against a guy that's going to whoop his ass anyways.
We almost rode with Robert Kelly. He's coming through town. And so they're coming through town at like 2 a.m. We almost hitched a ride with him, but Austin's got some other people that want to go, so we're going to have a car full.
Travis said Evan has 0 chance against Schoolboy. That is not what he said. What Travis said was the Evan that we know from the internet has 0 chance against Schoolboy. But that motherfucker doesn't know shit. He has no fucking clue what anybody's level's at. He doesn't pay attention to anybody or anything unless it's going to make him money. If we sat down and compared high-level opponents that Travis and I both had, I bet you I've got wins that he doesn't have against guys that he's pulled. But he just doesn't know because he doesn't follow. And nobody really follows Canadian arm wrestling. Like, if you're not Canadian, you're not local, like, everybody knows, like, the major events going around in your area. But 3 states over, it's hard to follow, right? Unless there's, like, a major event where you've got a lot of guys coming into, people just don't follow that stuff.
Yeah, I hear you. I just want to say, Alex Willett, you
What's
have
up?
succeeded in being a person that looks even dumber than me.
How's that? Is it the hair? Is it too much? Can you hear me all right?
The swoop. Oh, the swoop is nice. I like the swoop.
Oh man, there's a good chance that somebody would grab
Can
a
you
hold
hear
of that
me
with
all
a
right?
pair of scissors at practice around here.
Yeah, well, you can turn your mic up a little bit, I think, Alex, if you can.
Turn it up a little bit.
Maybe just a little.
Let
Or
me see.
just speak like a man and project a little bit more, maybe. Perhaps.
How's that? That better?
Yes.
Okay.
Loud.
Yeah. No, I definitely have some ridiculous locks going on. That's for sure. This is I think a couple of years going now. I've had this haircut.
And the glasses. Those
You don't
things
like
are
'em?
just not at all. No. You look like the bad guy from Men in Black 3 with those things on.
I'm getting like
Well,
Daredevil.
you've got the beard and mustache out of a Disney cartoon, so
The beat goes on, says, haha, the King's move haircut.
is that what this is? I don't
I like
King's
that.
Move.
King's move haircut. I enjoy that quite a bit. That's very nice. What do you,
So
what
I
do you
wanted to talk about Damon and Robert.
Damon and Robert?
I've got an opinion about this whole thing. I think this is kind of exposing something wrong with arm wrestling.
Uh-oh.
The fact that I don't think they really had to try that hard to push that match. Like Evan's talking about how they were shoving it down our throats. I don't think they were really doing that. It was a few posts and a few comments from people that really got it rolling, and then everybody just started talking about it. I think that's just something that our sport has not, like, I'm in Michigan. Michigan does not have like people talking about matches. You don't have promoters like online talking about, oh, hey, we're getting this guy and this guy together and trying to actually start some kind of conversations about these matches or whatever. So just the fact that we had a page that was like, hey, we have this super interesting match. Do you guys want to watch it? And like got everybody talking about it. Like all of a sudden, like everybody wants to see it. Now it's on the pay-per-view.
Well, I think it's actually a really good lesson. It's a good lesson for other amateurs, but it's also a really good lesson for guys who are pros, because people are going to start to realize that promoters get a lot more out of guys who are willing to promote the match themselves. And if you're tied into these communities like Arm Wrestling Uncensored, you can get a lot of traction for these things. And like you said, like they did a few things that there was some cool imagery that they had going on, a couple good memes. They came on my show. They did like 2 or 3 other shows, and they did it. I think they did it really well, really, really well. But I agree, it's something that just hasn't been done very much.
Like I'm almost betting if there was even like a small amateur league that was willing to just put in a little bit of work in making content about the guys that pull for them, they could become minor celebrities overnight in the arm wrestling world just because somebody's talking about them.
Well, that's it. But that's your job as a competitor to make people want to give a shit. Like, I've been doing this my entire time in the sport. Not everybody's going to like me, and I'm okay with this. I've lived my entire life this way. You don't have to like me, but you are going to notice me, and you're not going to be forgetting me. I'm going to stand out. So you're either going to enjoy my shit, you're going to hate my shit, but you're probably not going to be indifferent towards me. And I've talked my way into a lot of pretty cool matches that skill level wasn't there to justify the hype that it would get. I was only arm wrestling for like 2 years. I really wasn't very good, but I still ended up getting a pretty cool match down in like Daytona Beach, right? You get invited out to Florida and you when people are kicking up some money for an amateur guy to go do something just because he talks enough shit, right? And I got guys on my team that are like, high-end pros that are like, well, why the fuck does Evan get to go do cool shit? Where's my match offers? Like, well, sorry, man. It's not my fault you got the fucking personality of a frozen potato. Like, get out there and do something.
You guys familiar with Sweet Tea?
No.
Sweet Tea Brimmer.
Yeah, Sweet Tea Brimmer.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm familiar.
Taylor?
Yeah.
No.
He's one of those amateur guys that I think does a phenomenal job at promoting himself. I would love to see him get one of these pay-per-view amateur level matches.
How long has he been around?
I've known him for about 2 years since I've been active, maybe more. I had a match
There's
with him
not a ton of like.
couple
Go ahead.
weeks ago. St. Louis. He pulled up a class though, so it wasn't like even. He pulled. I think he pulled 11 classes that day. He pulled everything, like pro, everything. He got whooped, but he won something there.
I think there's
by the way, real quick, super chat. Kevin Courage says, off topic, I rewatched Mike and Jerry's WAL match earlier before Mike talks about Levon, etc. That match needs to be ran back. Such a horrible ending. I thought it was a great ending. It's just horrible that we didn't get a rematch.
I love the ending of it.
Yeah.
I love the whole match. Everything about that match was fantastic. Unfortunately for Jerry, he didn't wait until their hands completely came apart. And those are the fucking rules. You still broke the rules and you fucking lose. Now, I think he also fucked up. He could have kicked up a little bit more dust about it. And like maybe they could have forced Mike back to the table. Mike was doing a pretty good job of throwing that hissy fit and standing his ground about not having to pull again. I think the match was great. I'd love to see it again. As much as I do love the WAL and just about everything that they do, like, I don't know how much that pad giving him that extra 2 inches on the back changes that match, though. I know there's a lot of people that say it really does, but I would say that 2 inches off the back are a lot more effective for a guy that's using them to attack with and not running out of space, having to stay, right? When they get that extra 2 inches now, it's going to be a lot easier to finish a match with that, which is kind of needed with the pin pads being lower on a WAL table, right? Have you ever pulled on a WAL table?
Mm-hmm.
So like you really got to fucking bury somebody.
Yeah.
Now, the pin line being lower is really going to help with the King's move. I don't know how much that extra 2 inches off the back does, though. So I would like to see that. Well, I would watch that match in absolutely any league.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
A must redo.
Well,
There's
they're
very
already talking
few
about it,
long
aren't they?
matches that are entertaining. But once you start hitting that like 6, 7, 8 fucking minutes, I know what a match that's 60 seconds long feels like. And you hate every fucking second of it. You hit 20 seconds, you're like, for fuck's sakes. I am so glad this isn't a tournament. And this is where I start really enjoying myself because I just block out how much I hate it right around that 20-second mark. After that, I no longer care how much I'm hating it. I'm focusing on how much he hates it. And then I'm going to start talking to him about how much he's hating it. And then he starts realizing that I'm having a good time with this, which is even more frustrating. And you start to break them.
Mm-hmm. It's the best part of the sport.
I don't think I've ever had a match last more than 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Not yet, anyway.
Count yourself lucky. A 20-second match is a long match in actual competition. At practice, you grab onto people and you can get like a good 80%, 90% high output burn going that you can hold for 30, 45 seconds and you're okay. In real match, not the same thing. Stress, it just treats the body differently.
Yeah, in a real match, you've got the sense of urgency of if I don't beat him, he's going to beat me. You have to get something done.
Well,
You can't
especially in a
just-
tournament format. In a super match, I don't give a fuck how long we got to hang out here. A stopped match is always a good thing for me. It gives me time to work, time to breathe, and just some guys are a lot better at it than others of learning where they can rest and where it's not a safe place and how to work yourself into basically a resting position that's safe for you. Yeah, I can't attack or I can't pin from here, but I can't get pinned from here. And my energy output is going to go way down by staying here. And you can just bleed the other guy at a much higher rate. But yeah. Austin, how are you doing? What's going on, big man?
What's up, buddy? I'm having a hard time hearing you guys.
Well, your shit's probably fucked up.
No kidding.
Turn your hearing,
I got
hearing
it
aids
turned
up,
all the
bud.
way up. Shit's just quiet. I don't know.
You're on your phone. You're on your phone?
What'd you say, buddy?
He's on his
I'm
phone.
on my phone.
I bet you the most common app used on his phone is Pornhub. And he just needs to clear out the speaker ports a little bit.
I can't hear a thing on this thing.
You got some headphones or something you can plug in then?
That's what I'm going to do. I got to go find some real quick.
Hey, we got another super chat here from Kevin Courage. Evan,
right
as
back,
a fellow
guys.
Canadian, where do you put
I
Mask
know.
now or even when he was in his prime? I don't think Mask is in any way out of his prime. He just needs to be back into shape. Like, I don't think we've seen the very best Matt that we can see yet. Every time he comes, he can just keep getting bigger and better. And Mask is always fucking dangerous. In Canada, I got to have him at number 2. Even when Mike decides to take the time to get into his top shape, I still think Matt is
A little bit higher up.
it's just such a hard match for Mike.
Yeah.
Mike Gould, the way he works, he's so big and strong, but he's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And he has piled up injuries over the years. So if you watch Mike Gould arm wrestle, he starts here, and when he goes to hook, he goes like this. And when he wants to top roll, he goes like this. And if he wants to like flop press, he goes like this. That's the only fucking range of motion that guy has anymore. And it's just when you limit your options that bad
Yeah.
against a guy with such a dynamic movement that Mask does, it's just a tough stylistic matchup now. So I would have Mask at number 2 in Canada for sure, if given a date with proper time to get ready.
I know it doesn't mean much, but I was really impressed. I think it was the time when Mask was getting ready for Hermes, when he was going to go to Hermes for that match. When he went over to Devon's and they had all those videos that they put out, the two of them training. And Mask really just seemed like he was kind of going over top of Devon. Devon was having a hard time doing anything with him that whole time he was there.
Who put the video up?
I think it was Devon.
Well, somebody was being nice to somebody because I was fucking there.
Were you?
Yes. And Matt Mask wasn't going over top of fucking anybody. Like there was a list of fucking people that were just, we were running a train on Matt. He was not having a good time with like most people. He was beat to shit.
Maybe it was one of the earlier
night,
videos.
The first
yeah,
night.
the first
When
night.
he first
Yeah.
showed up. Now, this is the thing, though. Devon trains like that every day. Matt shows up his first night, and he's somewhat fresh, ready to go. And Devon's already been doing this training regimen every day for a month now. He's beat to fucking shit. Matt shows up fairly fresh. He did kind of have his way like that first 20 minutes of the first night. But after that, Matt's recovery time is not what Devon's is. So anytime you see Devon in a practice with anybody, just assume he is beat to shit, except for lately. Lately, he's pretty good. He's like resting for practices now and shit.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know.
Changing his whole style.
Now he says he's just, taking a bit of a break, like to let his
Now, why
body
isn't it joint?
relax, and then he'll go back up. But I don't know. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I can't pull like that. If I pull more than once in a 1 week period, I'm a shell of what I should be. Just way too much pain, tendon pain, nerve
Just more
pain.
time. Force it.
Well, yeah, but you got to get through that.
I've tried that.
Man,
I
have
wanna-
you ever tried not being a pussy? How about you act like a goddamn man? Cut your fucking hair, throw those fucking glasses out, and act like a fucking man. Give your balls a tug, bud. Jesus, fuck. Dude. It's
Like my hair,
fucking
thank you
for
very much.
everybody. I'm on the table 4 or 5 times a week.
Well, the
It
Americans
fucking
have
hurts. There is plenty of nights where I'm still, and I've been doing this shit for almost a fucking decade now. But I go too hard at practice, and then I go. Now, most of these nights, it's not super hard, right? When you got nights that I've got like Pork Chop in town and Mulva Hill, Allen Ford, when Devin comes down, I end up beaten down far worse than normally. But I get a night where like Devin comes down with Pork Chop one night and Mulva Hill doesn't come to practice. So then the next night I'm out at training again and Mulva Hill shows up, but he just had the night off. So I have to go that hard back-to-back nights. I'm laying in bed. Oh, my arms are in the air. I'm like, fuck sakes. I don't know why I do this. I hate it. I hate it all.
So I've seen videos of how like Devin runs his practices. So you telling me that you pull that much, do you do the same thing where you guys are mostly just like holding, getting into positions, trying to find, what you want to work on, or are you like banging into it the whole time? Like,
it really depends on who I'm working with and which night. Now, like currently getting ready for a big match like I am not just recklessly going at it. I pick and choose who I'm pulling with. I put in a lot of volume. When like, say Mulva Hill and I were on the table last night, my hand was feeling really good. I was getting a lot of good work in. So him and I were going fairly fucking hard in some spots. Like there was nobody else in the room that'd be able to get on the table and put that kind of workout in with us. Right. Which is a lot harder than I would normally go, but I was feeling really good. And the timeline of how far I am away from my event, it makes sense to get that high volume work where my hand doesn't get busted back. My arm doesn't get ripped outside of my shoulder, but we are going hard, right? Now, if you've been doing it for a little bit, you can feel this, right? You get in there with your training partner. If you're the stronger guy, you know if you're able to come through or not. And when you get the chance to, you just don't, right? That's where you hang out. You find that sweet spot where you're getting the most you can and your partner is still able to maintain there. So nobody's getting blown open or having these negative training cycles, right? Because it takes too long to recover from a failed lift, so to say, right? Now, whether it's your hand getting busted back or you work till failure and you actually just can't get that last rep in, it's the same thing. It's a failed lift and it takes too long to recover. It's going to slow down your training cycle when you're trying to build towards a peak. So we won't go that hard all the time. And when I'm feeling more beat up, especially now, I will spend my time with a lot of the either newer or smaller guys that I can control in safe places and we can both get good work in.
right. I think that's something that at least the guys here in Michigan have a problem with is when they hold practices, it's a tournament every practice.
Really?
They get on the table and they want to win. There is no holding. There's just who's
So do you
the
have
stronger guy.
Is your team like pretty well a newer club?
So there's not really a ton of like the team situation, the club situation in Michigan is weird. The club I normally pull with is a club called Eastside Arm Club. And it's mostly newer guys. Like usually there's me and one other guy that can show up and pretty much just hold everybody.
Oh shit, it's that bad.
There's like, it's a big club though. There's like 11, 12 people or so. But a lot of the other clubs or groups, they're just small groups. They're small sporadic groups and different people will hold practices and everything just kind of floats around. And I find myself going to one place one weekend, one place another weekend, and just going to different practices. So
well, that's a great way to do it. You get to hold more hands, check out more styles. You're always getting new works and new angles in, which is great. But people
the
that are trying
downside
to
is
win
you can't
practice,
get like you can't going through all those different groups and having there's just no organization to anything. There's no like communication between any of these guys about how we should do practice. It's just like, hey, let's meet and just bang into each other as hard as we fucking can. You know, rip each other open over and over and over and over again until somebody just calls it quits. And then everybody's going home and pounding down the ibuprofen afterwards.
well, I came from a hammerhead style like that, where that's all I wanted to do was just go balls out until my arm fell off or something, right? And then just as you get older, you start to realize a little more that it's great, but there's better ways to do it, right? You start structuring a little more. Let's actually target specific weaknesses. Like, hey, buddy, look, I know you have a good hook and you just want to get into that hook because that's the only way you can win a match.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we save that good hooking thing that you have for actually winning matches? And let's use practice so that you don't have to hook to win a match. Let's work on those other things. Let's get better at everything, not just that one thing. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a specialist either if you are that good at it that nobody can stop it. But you have better be that good at it that nobody can stop it. Otherwise, you're going to end up in a match that you should be able to win, but you can't because you're too fucking stubborn and you only want to do one thing.
Yeah. I think it's good. Now I can hear you all. I'm sorry. What's up, guys?
Cool.
But I agree with you on that. You know, it's always good to have a good hook and a good press and a good post and back pressure and pronation and supination. But when you're superior in one, that's one thing. But when you're okay in one and you're okay in the other, and then you suck at press or something like that, you know, you got to get good at all three so you can switch it up every once in a while, or at least change it if you're doing the best out of five or something.
Right. I absolutely agree. Having the bigger bubble, more options is always going to be the better way to do things. But if you look back, like historically, through who the very top guys are, now you've got a pretty good mix of silver bullet guys and those all-around guys that just find a way to make the fight not where you want it. Travis, one move. Pushkar, one move. Devin, he will fight you anywhere you don't want to.
Anyway, he'll press,
Brazing.
he'll top throw, he'll hook.
Right. John Brazing, that dude, what made that dude as good as he was he was able, he might not have been able to get through everybody's hand by top rolling, but you weren't able to get through his. So he was able to choose to put that into a hook if he wasn't liking the top roll, right? And being able to transition from that hook into a top roll, right into that shoulder roll press. Yeah, being able to do everything. It really depends. Like it works out really well either way. Either you have to be good enough at that one thing that nobody can stop it, or you've got to be able to be better than them at least somewhere and be a better technical arm wrestler, if you will, to force the fight into that somewhere. Find the hole, make it fight there.
Practice has become like an ego fight. You have to be willing to go up to the guys that have been doing it more years than you, or even if they're just more impressive than you, and say, like, here, feel me out. Where do I need to practice? Do I need to stay in a hook today? What do we need to do to level me up? And listening to those guys is what the practices need to look like. I think it takes about 2 years for a club to get to where you're not just banging heads all the time, to where they're starting to, I'd say over the summer, Derby City, we finally started doing drills and planning and coaching each other and doing a lot better, growing a lot better because of that.
I agree. Yeah.
It took my team to like the 6-year mark to stop doing that fucking flat out hammerhead style. And it only even changed at that 6-year mark because I started piling up too many fucking injuries. Where it's like, I needed to back down at practice and start doing things a little smarter. And then basically that's how it's going to go. If you've got somebody that like is the guy that runs the club, the leader, the coach, whatever. When he starts realizing it, that's when it's going to get better.
We had to
But
start.
there's nothing wrong with that hammerhead style either. Like,
I just don't think you recover.
right. It also depends on the makeup of your group. If you've got a bunch of fucking 22-year-olds, who gives a shit? You can
Yeah.
have two 22-year-olds. They can just sit into a break arm position, literally snap their arms off, and they're ready to go again tomorrow. They're fine. I've watched Brendan break both of his arms and his ribs out of practice, and he showed up the next day ready to go. He was fine. Like, you just can't hurt kids. They get better. They heal.
Yeah.
No, serious. I'm not
No,
fucking,
you're serious.
dude. I'm not fucking making this shit up. We actually had a practice. So the Razor, do you guys know who that is?
Not by name.
John knows the Razor.
Yeah.
Right. We actually had him cut his arm off with a chainsaw at practice, and he was fine like a week later.
Oh,
I believe it.
Yeah. No, seriously, when he holds his arms out, if he holds them straight, his right arm, it just bends like 30 fucking degrees at the elbow. It's fucking weird.
Does he have a natural Kings move now?
No, it bends sideways. It's not this. It like at the elbow, it bends that way.
Ow.
He cut it off with a chainsaw
Oh man.
at
Oh,
practice in the middle
Hey.
of a match.
We got a super chat from Burgoyne's Beer Belly. He says, "Why am I shrinking?" Frown
Hey,
face.
so I did actually see that. I was trying to ignore that super chat because it
Not
makes
happening.
me sad. And I'm sorry. Like, if you actually look at the picture on that account, I've got like a good hang. I have a shadow. My beer belly had its own shadow. And it's gone. So much hard fucking work. And that is actually a picture of my belly from like 6 months ago.
how much overall weight have you lost?
I don't know what I was at my biggest.
Gotcha.
You weren't here at the beginning of the conversation, but when I saw 298 at the scale, I took my scale and I put it away, and I didn't step on it again until I knew it was under 3. I didn't want to see 3. I've never actually seen 300 pounds on a scale,
Gotcha. Okay.
but I am positive I was over. I'm
Yeah,
guessing I don't think I hit 310, but 305, 308, I would bet somewhere in there.
That's a big boy too.
Well, especially whenever you got a 27-inch inseam. I got fitted for a tux once, and the chick, she measures your waist and she writes down the number. Then she measures your inseam. She writes down the number.
Yeah, Taylor.
She takes a look at it, looks at me. Okay, I did this wrong. I got to measure you again. So she measures me again, measures it, checks it. Okay, that's right. Measure. And then she just starts laughing. The fuck are you laughing about? Like, you're giving me a complex here, lady. It's like, I
Hey,
look
you're
at
making
these
insecure.
numbers and I look at you and I just don't see how these pants are for you. I look at this and it's like I'm making the tuxedo for Danny DeVito when he's playing the Penguin.
Penguin, yeah.
Fuck's sakes. Yeah, I got like stumpy little fucking legs. So,
Are you going to be there tomorrow? Are you going to be there in Virginia?
no,
I
that's
didn't
like,
know. I was going to say,
yeah,
I've
it's like a
never met you,
12-hour
man.
drive, and like the States is like kind of shitty to try to get into right now.
Going
yeah.
12 from where you're at?
What's that?
It would only be 12 hours for you? You must be like just straight up then, huh?
Pretty well. It only takes me like 2 hours to get into New York.
Ah,
Oh, wow.
And then it's like what, 10 hours down?
no. I guess it makes sense. We're going north a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it was 8 hours for me to get to Long Island.
That's cool. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Back to what we were saying on being good in 3 different areas, or like a hook, back pressure, all that. I know you're not really into lifting weights, Evan, but I don't know about John and I don't know about Alex. But I know me and Lincoln, we try to hit it pretty hard every once in a while. But another good, I think, I don't know, guesstimation or getting an idea of where you might be is maybe the amount of weight you can move or which band you can stretch the furthest and what area you're doing on the table. Say if you bring a table in and you have a cable machine and you can hook 95 or 120 pounds or whatever, but you can press 160. you know, and then what you can back pressure through the table, like what you do in a sideways back motion compared to a sideways motion, compared to a press. And it's, you know, whatever weight you move the most is probably going to be your strongest move on the table when you get in good position.
Right. But here's the problem. Lifting weights does not directly translate into arm wrestling ability, and being strong in a singular motion is not directly conducive to arm wrestling, where you have to attack multiple facets at the same time.
The weights don't hit back.
Here's the other thing with it. I don't think it's a good idea to even do like max rep or max weight single pulls in any direction. Now, back pressure, probably okay. But when you're doing side pressure or pressing, either one of those, you're begging for a ligament in your elbow, your ACL to just like tear off. And that shit ain't fun.
Your collarbone.
I've torn my the bicep tendon here, and it took like 4 fucking years for that to heal.
Jesus.
I don't want to do that. So
no, I don't either.
I've also torn my elbow 4 times, and like in succession. It was like it was either the first tournament or second tournament back every time, until I finally smartened the fuck up and gave it a full 8 months of rest, where I would just strictly rehab it with the intention of building it back up. And I've really found that high volume, low weight is way better for strengthening that. I've never torn it since I've kept that in my training. So at the end of every night, we'll do 2, 3, 4 hours on the table. But then whenever everybody's starting to cool down, like, yeah, we're all beat to shit, we're good. Everybody just kind of gets on the table, and we'll turn ourselves way in. We'll put ourselves in the worst break arm position possible, where we just hold with like 20%. And we just hold there. We'll have our beer with our other hand while we shoot in the shit, smoke a joint, whatever. We'll just hang out 15, 20 minutes and just let blood flow. And it really helps with the rehab of it. So I'm not as painful in the morning if I do a proper stretch and cool down.
What do you do a lot for rehab? I mean, you know, I'm bad about icing my joints. I'm bad about doing icing, period. But what is your all's favorite kind of number one rehab?
Or work.
No ice.
On the table. Everything is done on the table for me.
So yeah, Evan. So if you take like Evan's approach versus my approach, they're quite different. Evan doesn't really like to touch a weight. I get very, very little table time because we've just been on permanent lockdown for so long at this point. So I've really had to switch over to predominantly, gym workouts. And for me, it is every day, multiple times a day. And when it hurts, it's just lighter and more repetitions, and making sure I really monitor when I know I have a big day, like an important day in the schedule. That's the day that I want to be as healthy as possible for. So I can, I don't do any maxing out anymore because I always get hurt every goddamn time. So I don't do any maxes, but I will get up to very, 80, 90% intensity as far as,
okay, cool.
Those lifts.
I don't know much about recovery. I mean, I do, but I don't. I know people that do the warm, cold. Yeah. I know people that just do blood pumps. I know people that do pressure and sleeves and all kinds of shit. I don't know.
Yeah. So the main thing to remember when you're talking about rehab, I'll drop some knowledge on you guys because I'm kind of a nerd.
Knowledge bomb, baby.
Let's hear it.
Tendons and connective tissues are like avascular. They don't really have any blood flow going into them at all, just because of the structure of the tissues. You can't really stuff a bunch of veins into those kinds of tissues. So the way that they actually absorb nutrients when they're trying to recover is from the blood flow around them. Mm-hmm. And if you're not doing anything to actually move that tissue, like it'll actually absorb nutrients from the expansion and contraction of the tissue. So as that like UCL ligament is probably what Evan was talking about on your elbow there. When you're holding it in that position, you're stretching it. That stretch is actually making it absorb blood. Because you're stretching it out. It's kind of like sucking.
I'm pretty sure I just said the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah, no,
Like I use the same words and everything. Like, come on.
yeah, yep, for sure. Yeah.
Didn't say it.
But that's all tendons and connective tissue. So the stuff in your wrist, the stuff in your hands, elbows, you have to move that stuff or it just won't recover right. So if you're just going home and doing nothing, that stuff is going to hurt and it's going to keep hurting. So you have to move it. You have to get a ton of reps and get more blood flow into those spaces. Ice is horrible for you. Ice actually
I don't
slows
know.
down recovery.
Really?
Doing hot and cold is good because it's constricting and then expanding everything. So you're getting fresh blood flow into spaces.
Or
but-
you could just work out.
work out. But strictly
Blood
ice actually slows down like protein synthesis and a bunch of other stuff. You can look it up. But
I
ice is
didn't do
bad
any
for you.
reading on this shit, but I just had a theory that when I'm getting all this inflammation, it's my body's way of trying to fix it. I don't want to just fucking freeze it out
Right.
of there. I'm letting it do its fucking job, and I'm just going to
Yeah.
keep working out. I'll just lighten the load and do more volume, get more blood to help fucking with the healing process, flushing through there, and call it a day. But I mean, yeah, you said same thing as me. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
sounds smart.
yeah.
Same thing.
Scientifically, you're exactly right. That's actually the way it works. The inflammation triggers the growth and the rebuilding. If you kill the inflammation, it'll stop triggering those things correctly.
I think key too when you're doing low weights, high volume recovery type stuff is to do something different too, in my opinion. So like if I really inflame my bicep because I'm pulling someone who's really an inside guy and they just keep pulling me open and it just really blows up my bicep, I think key for me is to switch to some sort of pressing, or maybe that day I should hit like back or something. So I'm still using my arm, still moving them, but I'm not going to go hit curls, right? Like I'm not going to do high reps, low weight on curls because get blood into different groups, I guess.
I would say that if you're going to go do
Yeah.
your back because your arms are all beat up like that, you're still using them, you're still getting blood, it's going to be good. Just when you do your warm up, that's when you grab that real lightweight and warm those arms up really fucking good, and then do your heavy back cycle.
Yeah.
And now, John, back to what you were saying about you have to use weights because you don't have access to table time constantly.
Mhm.
Now, if you were living like in this area, literally, I can walk out my back door and I can hit a golf ball right into Mulville's back door.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I've got multiple training partners within like rifle range, you know?
Yeah.
So we can get together anytime and get that workout in. If you were in the same scenario as me where you've got multiple training partners always available,
Yeah.
would you be still doing more weight or would you be trying to hit more table time?
I would significantly increase my table time. I would be shooting for two to three table time sessions a week, and then but still I wouldn't go as far as to get rid of my gym time, but I would certainly pick up the table time.
I
And
am not
everything
telling
would-
anybody don't work out, it's bad for you. I would feel like an idiot. I don't think I could say it with a straight face. I
Yeah.
am positive that there are benefits of doing that. You can't lift weight in a safe, healthy way and not get stronger. Those benefits are guaranteed to come.
Yeah,
I just prefer to lift weights with people. That's all.
that's fair.
So we got another super chat here from my boy Darcy Dick. Anybody that ever thinks that they don't like their name, Darcy Dick, he got fucked. Anyways,
Brutal.
if anybody that doesn't know him, John, you've seen his match with Adam Vandal. The
Oh
Western
yeah,
Spider
great
guy?
match.
Hell of a match. And that dude, Darcy, does not get outworked. He showed up like 145 pounds, right? But he's like 6 feet tall. He's my height. But he's 145 pounds. He's a tiny, tiny, tiny little dude. But that motherfucker outworks everybody. I can get a full practice in if only Darcy shows up. It takes a while, right? It's going to take a bit of time for his endurance to start competing with my size.
Yeah.
But soon enough, like he will max out for like 3-4 minutes straight. Now, obviously he dies off, right? And I feel him die off. But at some point, because he just won't fucking stop, I'm going to fucking start dying too. And then it becomes like, yeah, I could still get through them. Oh, fuck. I don't know if I can get through them. But I'm still not going to figure it out. Like, can I do it yet? I don't know. I'm just going to keep holding it until I know I can't.
Yeah.
And then when I know I can't get through him anymore, because he still hasn't quit yet, instead of letting my arm get ripped open, that's awesome, buddy. And I'll just, we just take a nice, easy break at that point where it's like, okay, I can't feel my fucking arm. But that is probably some of the best training that you can get, especially as a recovery workout, right? So having these guys that you can just work with any day, and Darcy just rolls through town and, hey, what's going on, coach? You want to get some work in? Yeah, meet you at the dojo in 5. Let's go. So I've always got access to recovery workouts or high-end horsepower workouts. Like any day I want, I can just call somebody like, we're ready to go. So I don't need a gym. Mm-hmm. So everybody that says Evan just drinks beer and doesn't work out, well, they're right. But I still outwork them, right? So
that's funny. The Latvians and it seems like the Russians too seem to disagree with that. Because I actually work with Giannis on my programming, and they don't do a lot of heavy table time at all. They're very gym centric. I think I even talked to Artem Top Roll King once. He's got this manual out called Ivan's Training Manual, and I guess their philosophy, they had a word for it, but it basically meant like day of struggle, and they were pulling hard once a month, and the rest of the month was gym time.
Well, you might be misunderstanding me. I don't know if like your hair is blocking it or something. I don't go hard all the time. I actually very rarely do. The one time I've went hard lately was last night this week. But the last practice I had with Brendan, we went specifically hard for a reason. But normally I don't go hard. I try to do a lot more volume than I do high end. Unless, so like when Devin was getting ready for Mike, then I did a lot of high-end stuff. But that wasn't for my training. I didn't have a match coming up. That was me being a training partner for Devin and giving him what he's looking for, right? But for me, for my workouts, I don't do a lot of like high-end. For me to get above 75% in a practice isn't common.
Right. Makes sense.
I tell you what, I pull two times a month pretty hard. And then I usually go Monday and Wednesday pretty hard in the weight room. Blood pump Sundays. I go heavy on Monday. I go light on Tuesday. If I even go in, I might just do some small arm wrestling stuff. I go heavy on Wednesday. And then if I know I have a practice coming up, I won't lift Thursday or Friday. I take it easy and just eat as much as I can. And then I pull hard that weekend. And then on the weekends I don't pull, I go hard Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then usually I usually take Tuesday, Thursday off and go light on the weekends. But
could you repeat all that? I didn't get it written down.
But I mean, I go fairly heavy, probably 8 times a month, to 10 times a month and 8 times a month in the weight room, but I don't max out on bench or something like that. I just get to a point, 90% of my max or something like that, and try to, rep it or get close to repping it or something like that. But, it keeps me game ready or battle ready, I feel like. And if I know I have a big day coming up, like I got hit with this Wayne Weathers match yesterday, so I haven't been preparing for it. I don't know, so, and I enjoy that stuff, because if it's a win-win situation, kind of. If I lose, I wasn't ready. If I win, look at me. So, I mean, I can't turn that down. I can't say no. If it wasn't for my man Lincoln down there, I'm blessed for him because he's been helping me out trying to figure this stuff out.
Yeah, you're in a really great shitty spot for this match.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's a win.
And
But,
yeah,
so
as far as
I'm not
that
gonna-
lifting and stuff goes, for the guys that do lift heavy, like you're a big fucking dude. You've probably lifted heavy for a long time. And
I've lifted
everybody's
heavy
going to
for
have to
probably-
do what their body reacts best with.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody has a different DNA makeup. Everybody has different genetics. Some people react better than others. And that's what I thought you were going to say a while ago. But, you said 22-year-olds. Hell, I know some 40-year-olds that got such good genetics, they can bang it out every damn week.
Well, Devin's
But it's
47. He
the-
does it
you're
every
absolutely
fucking
right.
day. Everybody's different. And it's cool. You got to figure out what works best for your
What'd
body.
you say?
No, you were breaking
Yeah,
up like real
Absolutely
bad.
right.
But
My bad,
everybody's
guys.
different. They've got to do what's going to work best for them. And like, you got to figure that out. But I'll tell you,
Yeah.
you need a lot of rest from that heavy stuff before you're actually ready for a competition. I won't touch a table for 3 weeks
I agree.
before a fucking big match, which is a lot for me.
Man,
a week later, and I'm like
I'll
pacing
usually
around
go,
my house, pulling
yeah,
my
there
hair
is.
out, like, fuck, I just want to arm wrestle,
Yeah.
and I can't. It's this guy's fault.
Yeah.
So now I'm mad at him. Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you looking at me? You made me not arm wrestle in a week.
It's his fault. Fuck that guy.
Fuck
All right,
him.
what's Kevin 10K saying here? Greetings from Toronto. I would like to ask Beerman what his favorite brands of beer are, and would you super match Oleg left-handed?
Yeah.
So my favorite beers. My favorite beer is free. My second favorite is cold. My third favorite is whatever's open and in my hand. As far as arm wrestling Oleg, I would absolutely arm wrestle Oleg. Like, I'm not going to win, but I'm going to do it. Why the fuck wouldn't I? Who doesn't want to try to grip up to that dude?
No kidding.
Now, just because I don't think I would win doesn't mean I wouldn't show up as best prepared I can and pull and throw everything I fucking can think of at him at that table. I am going to do my damnedest to try and win. I think the odds are kind of against me in that guy, you know?
You think we'll see Oleg at King of the Table?
I don't know about King of the Table, but he's going to be at the East versus West. He's pulling.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
see that.
And he's pulling against a bigger dude that's really fucking good, where it's like a 55-45 type of matchup for them. So that'll be interesting. At least I'll get to shake his hand, maybe get some after pull with him. That'll be fun.
It's funny because he looks like a 16-year-old kid until you see his left arm. Then it looks like two 16-year-old kids' arms.
Yeah, he's
Two
incredible.
16-year-old Russian kids that have been juicing since they were 6.
There's that one picture of him. I think he was pulling Devin, and it literally looks like an arm stacked on another arm. Fucking crazy.
But when you're born with 6 fingers, man, you got all the extra tendons in the room. The arm is literally bigger for the extra tendon.
I think there's more than
I'm
just
not
that
sure you
going
know how
on.
tendons work.
Well, every time you see somebody with like 6 fingers, their forearm's massive too.
He just got
Like
some
they
weird
have
like
an extra
insertions.
ligament to pull with.
Well, it looks like the
Yeah.
rack is just attached super fucking high, like near his fucking wrist.
Yeah, it built like a bear. Looks like a bear. His bicep and wrist are connected in one.
Yeah, it's
Biceps
fucking.
connected in one.
That's what it looks like. Whenever he starts hitting that back pressure and that shit pops right out of his arm, it really just looks like the connection point is so fucking high, which just if you were to look, I don't
I've
know
only-
what the numbers are like exactly, but it takes a small amount of distance for that connection point to be changed to increase your leverage potential dramatically. I know it's a fucking huge difference.
Absolutely. I don't know how true this. Yeah, I don't know how true this is, but I heard when Tim Bresnan tore his bicep, he had it connected like an inch further down on his arm.
Yeah, we had a
Dude, that
guy
shit-
I don't
in
blame him.
Toronto here just do
I've
the
already
same
thought
thing. He
about
blew his
that.
bicep off,
I don't know.
and he asked the doctor, like, whenever they surgically reattached it, can you attach it further down? He's like, well, we can't attach it to the same place. I'm like, okay, well, can you attach it further down?
Go
Like,
below it.
so they did, They're like, well, we were just going to put it right up in front of where it was supposed to be. Like, no, just move it down. So they moved it up. So once that all heals up for him, that dude might just become the next fucking freak.
I'd be curious to know if Larry.
Yeah, that could work. That could work.
So he's got that freaky looking left, and his left is just known to be better than his right. Right. I wonder if he got it attached below or above.
Who's that?
Larry.
Well, Larry blew his too.
Yeah, but I wonder how they reattached it.
I don't.
Twice.
Yeah, I don't know. Did his blow from the bottom or the top?
I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know the details on
Somebody in
how
the-
that worked out. All right, Kevin Courage, do you think Levon and Vitali use enhanced pancakes? What do you fellas think?
I think they use waffles.
Yeah,
That's a silly
dude has an
question. in my
enhanced
opinion.
whole breakfast.
I don't know. Levon's only put on like what 250 pounds in his adult life.
He's only doubled
Yeah.
in size and then some.
Yeah.
His head's
Kevin,
twice
have
as
you
big.
ever seen?
I don't know.
Y'all
I've
ever
heard
seen the footage?
rumors about Levon's supplements that
Oh,
I don't know. I would
But
definitely be
HGH
afraid of dying.
No, the only
HGH
thing
and
Levon
what
takes
is it?
is
Sorry,
creatine from vitamini.ge.
let's see. HGH, Tren, and Anadrol 50.
I can't see Trend being used by those guys, man. They're not that dumb. Trend is just stupid.
It's so hard on your body.
That's the like you're begging to blow your bicep off. Unless you're looking for a reattachment surgery that you can get that shit moved down your arm.
Maybe that's the
Trend's not
play.
that great of an idea.
Yeah.
It's pretty stupid.
But yeah, I do think Levon is definitely enhanced
Oh yeah.
a lot. Vitali,
Now, have you seen
I
his?
don't know.
Less
You
than
could
that.
argue that
Vitali's
Vitali
put
doesn't
on-
seem like it.
A
Well-
lot of size over the years, but he's not that old, right? And people get bigger as they get older. And
They do.
normally, if somebody is willing to put that kind of fucking gear into their body, they're willing to put the work in and at the very least maintain somewhat of a proper diet so you can actually get your benefits out of putting that. If you are eating 300 calories a day, I don't care what you put into your body, you're not going to get yoked. It's not happening,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You've got to eat and you've got to do the work to get all those benefits.
I think I'll fart
And-
300 calories.
Vitali really doesn't look like a guy that's just running gear out of his mind. I wouldn't be surprised if he does, but I wouldn't think it's like some crazy level like some other guys do if he does.
Have
The
any of
secret
y'all
is
ever
gas station food because he's a trucker.
have y'all ever seen the old footage of Dennis Saplinkoff whenever he was a strong man, how little his hands were?
No,
Or
I've
just
seen
how
that.
little he was overall when he was a strong man. And
I did see
then
how small
it's
he was
like
when he was
his hand-
younger.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then his hands grew into like freaking massive. And then he got bigger. His forehead grew. I mean, like, it's all the same shit, man. Levon's on the same stuff.
Well, his
I don't
skull
know
is
what
now
it
bigger
is.
than his shoulders were back then.
Well, I don't know how you get a dome piece. His head looks like a cone head because it's so wide, like a pit bull. I mean, I don't know. It's just he's put a lot into his body whenever you grow your skull out from where you know what I'm saying, like the soft spot from when you were a baby literally has to widen because your skull's grown. It's
The
crazy.
evolution.
Man, I wish I could
Yeah.
hear half what you were saying because it sounds funny.
It looks like Alan Ford from Wipeout is here.
Alan Ford from Canada's Wipeout. I love that guy.
So
Kevin
What's up,
Courage.
fellas?
Kevin
Travis
Courage also
Bajan-
has a super chat. Says Travis Bajan also said Devin may dabble in the dark arts too. No, Travis is
Couldn't be.
also jealous too, though. Would Travis say something because he's jealous?
Travis
No.
is extremely jealous, and I will never take Travis's opinions on steroid use ever.
Yeah, Travis, pretty. I would say, just don't really listen to Travis too much.
Well, here's the thing. We can find the clip of Travis saying, "Don't ever ask me about steroids or money, I will lie to you every fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah. Travis lies to you and also tells you that he is lying to you and that he does not care that he's lying to you, and that you just, you know, we got to accept it as the way it is.
Well, I mean, that's just the way it works when you get to high-end athleticism. If you ever want to have a little bit of sponsorship money, and Travis is all about getting some money in, you can't just walk around saying, yeah, I do fucking steroids. I mean, Larry Wheels can, because he doesn't need the sponsorship. He sponsors himself.
Right.
Right. But other people, like, if you just flat out advocate for this, nobody's going to touch you. You think Reebok's going to throw any money behind a guy that says, yeah, I do fucking steroids, that's why I'm the best? Like, it's just not going to work that way. They need you to say, yeah, I wear Reebok shoes, motherfucker. That's why I'm so good at arm wrestling. So when you get to a top guy like that, to get them to admit it is going to be tough for very specific reasons. Even if your government's providing you with your drugs.
Yeah, no kidding.
Everybody in the arm wrestling community has seemed to jump on the pancake innuendo, where we know what you're talking about. So
I'm not actually sure what you're talking about, because I know the man. I'm at his house all the fucking time. If you think that dude isn't eating pancakes literally twice a day,
I bet he is.
Definitely was. And I swear to God, this dude would literally drink maple syrup at the table during practice. I think it's more about the syrup than it is the pancake, but he was eating pancakes like fucking crazy. It was just ridiculous.
He's taking it literally.
It's a fact. I was there.
I believe you. The guy's got a fast metabolism.
Well, not that fucking fast. I couldn't keep up with those pancakes. You see the size of him? He was fucking huge.
What's your prediction for what he's going to come in for Levon? What weight?
I'm hoping 300 plus.
300 plus.
And I don't see a problem with him getting there if he wants to. He puts that work in.
A bigger base now, right? Like he was
right.
Before he started from Mike. He's like 240, 250.
He was able to, so he was always walking around like 245 right now. When he was like sent on tour and shit, if he wasn't actually working, he was just sitting around in camp with unlimited free food and gym. So he would just eat like a motherfucker. And when he got back from tour, that's when he's showing up in the high 250s, like when he was younger.
Yeah.
Then as he got older, you know, he had the elbow surgery. He wants to get out of the super heavyweights because, look, if you're getting $20,000 to win the tournament, do I want the best 225-pound guy in the world ripping on my arm, or the strongest man in the world ripping on my arm? Like, I'm going to take the little dude for the same money.
Yeah.
So he cut the weight. His elbow's all fucked up. Goes through all the healing and everything. All of a sudden, weight classes are not around anymore. And the only way to get the big prize, you got to be the biggest, baddest dog in the yard now. So all of a sudden, he starts getting bigger. So he started hitting new peaks for his size. Like every time he peaks for an event, he hits a new record, and then he comes back down. But he never comes down as low as he did the time before. So it's always going to be easier to just keep adding and adding and adding when you never come back down lower than the original starting value.
Yeah.
So right now, I think he's starting from like 270, where when he started for Michael Todd, he was like 230. So to see a 200 or a 300-pound Devin,
that'd be awesome.
Shouldn't be a problem. I think that's very doable for him. I don't know if he's going to put the work in. Like I said, I don't know. Things are different for him now. Maybe he just got too comfy and made too much fucking money fighting that fucking big guy with the stroke. Whatever. I don't fucking like the guy. He beat up my friend. If he wants to fucking say something, fucking call me. We'll see what's up. Fuck you.
Yeah, Evan will fight him.
I don't.
Or versus Evan.
At the very least, I will do better than Devin did.
Are you sure about that?
I am 100% positive about that.
Because you were pretty confident in Devin leading up to that fight.
Wow. He can't have his own friends telling him he's going to get the shit kicked out of him. Motherfucker, if you ever seen the guy walk, you know he can't box. The dude walks like an ape with his fucking wrists all curled up. How are you gonna throw a punch like that? He can't straighten his fucking arms. You think I didn't know he was gonna get fucked up? I knew he was gonna get fucked up. But fuck, every time I talk to him, like I gotta like, dude, yes, the guy sucks. Yes, I know you can't fight, but he can't either. Just punch him in the fucking face, stay in his face, you'll beat him. You gotta give him something.
I'd like to see that Thor versus Evan. I think you should let Evan get really, really drunk before the match.
Dude, we don't even need gloves. We can do it in my fucking driveway for that kind of money.
Sponsored by Four Loko.
Amazing.
Being awful quiet there, John.
I am. I'm just enjoying not because this is the first night where Evan is in control of the mechanics of it all. So I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just like
Just high as fuck.
enjoy the ambiance.
Is Evan doing a bad job? Because
No,
Evan stopped looking at the chat like 4 beers ago.
no, you're doing fine.
I'm trying to read the chat back now, but fuck, it's getting hard to read. Evan rules the podcast. There's the Beaver Pumper. I like that guy. He's funny.
We got one vote for Evan versus Thor. Somebody believes in you. Raw Torque.
You know who should do steroids? Alan Ford should do some steroids.
I
There you go.
agree. And I tell him that every fucking week. Alan, just get fucking yoked. Show up at like 250. Say, what's up, motherfuckers? You know how well that hit works against guys that like are big and slow?
Yeah,
Jeez.
I like that.
What's Alan saying here? Alan, don't do it. Just drink beer and eat pancakes. Seems to work these days. Alan, just fucking do steroids, man. Like, fuck. Everybody else does them. Is Austin muted? That's fantastic. He's muted.
So there's a lot of people talking about the
What? I just didn't want to say something to interrupt you all.
What's
there's
that,
a lot of
John?
questions about the timeline for tomorrow. So we're going with 9 p.m. Eastern. Is that when the
That's super matches.
that's the super matches?
super-
7
I think
p.m.
it's
Eastern
7:30.
for the tournament.
7, okay.
So where do we watch the tournament? It's different to watch the tournament and watch the super matches, right?
I don't know.
Well, you know what? We should have definitely changed the title of this because nobody knows what the fuck's going on for that, really.
I don't think they've really been advertising like the.
Motherfucker, Austin's pulling in this and he doesn't know.
We're gonna be there like 4 or 5, ready for anything.
I've known about the matches, but I just got hit with I was going to pull Wayne like yesterday.
What time do you pull at?
But I don't know. I just know super matches start at 9.
What's
They
the order
probably
of the
haven't
super
even
matches?
decided yet.
I don't know.
What time's the tournament start?
No
at?
idea.
7. I'm pulling in the tournament, so
7.
we know it starts at 7.
Well, I'm glad you guys joined the show. Beer man crushes Thor all day. Fuck yeah. I'll punch that.
Evan talks shit about Thor.
Dude. I don't know if I would win that fight. Chances are probably not. This is arguably the largest, strongest man that has ever lived that has been training nothing but boxing for years.
I want to see him and Brian Shaw fight.
I don't. I
Other
mean,
worlds-
I do, but I don't think it'd be a good fight. I think. Now, what are the rules? Because if Brian Shaw grabs that guy, now that Thor's so little, it could be a bad day. Brian Shaw is a huge fucking man.
Yeah.
Dude, he needs to stay away from the table. If he ever got into arm wrestling, I think we'd all be doomed.
Brian Shaw has been arm wrestling for like 8 years.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know
When
that.
I
Why
started
don't we
arm
ever see
wrestling
anything?
like November of 2012 was my first event. And I read about Brian Shaw arm wrestling then.
Maybe
Now,
just
isn't he from somewhere near where you were from, John?
He's from Colorado.
Colorado? Okay, well, I don't know. I thought Minnesota was close to there, I guess. I don't know.
Not really.
It's closer than it is to here.
Yes, that's correct.
But
Not a lot.
Brian Shaw has been arm wrestling, not like training as a professional arm wrestler, but I know he has been on the table for like 7-8 years at least. Like where he just like shows up and arm wrestles with people just because he finds it fun, right? Whenever
Didn't
he's
he arm
not
wrestle Juji?
doing
That's right.
I thought he
forgot
got
about
on
that.
Juji's channel.
Yeah.
He
they
did.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. He
2
did.
years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, even before then, like I know he was arm wrestling. Like he knows how to arm wrestle. His hands are fucking huge. He knows how to use them. He's not like a professional arm wrestler yet.
Yeah.
Even after that many years, because it's only like a little bit here and there. But he is like, he knows what arm wrestling is.
Not
But-
to get by a stranger, professional arm wrestler that's just some skinny kid. Yeah. Has
The
he beat?
problem is you gotta like stop everything else. You're not a competitive anything anymore if you want to be a competitive arm wrestler. It shuts
No.
all of that fucking down.
And he would never turn down that strongman money.
Right. Well, unless arm wrestling money got good enough.
Well, that's kind of why Larry Wheels got into it, because he realized that he could make. Go ahead. Well, he just realized he realized he could make more money almost getting into arm wrestling. And I think he's a big part of why they're setting up some of the matches over in Dubai sometimes.
Well, I mean, he's
Oh.
setting up all of that shit. And I don't think it's that
Okay.
he realized he can make more money arm wrestling as an arm wrestler than he can as a strongman or a power lifter. I don't think that's the case at all. In fact, I know that's not the case. But what is the case is that because of his social media presence and what he makes on his own without competing is enough that he can make a really good living doing whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
And he just would prefer to arm wrestle versus abuse your body that badly to do the strongman or powerlifting. Arm wrestling is easier on your body than all of these other competitive sports. It's
I'll tell you
arguably
what.
more painful, but still
Yeah.
easier on your body.
I think that's truly a motivating factor for him too. He seems very sincere when he talks.
Yeah.
about
Well, I'll tell you what.
What he was.
It doesn't matter. Go ahead, Lincoln. Sorry.
No, I think that Larry saw where he was going to be in 5 years, being a bodybuilder, a powerlifter, or a strongman, and he just likes the future in arm wrestling for his health. I think that's true.
That is very true.
Probably
Yeah,
also
you-
noticed the vacuum of coverage in the sport and realized with the kind of presence that he has, it would be very easy for him to start something like he did.
Okay, so just keeping up with the chat here a little bit. Yes, my drywall is unfinished, and that is only because I'm a lazy piece of shit. Okay? I've had the paint sitting here for like 3 months. Fuck, I hate painting. Anyways, there was a few other ones there. Crush a beer can on your head. I don't have cans present, and I am not doing a bottle. I am not down with that. Where's the tournament located? Dung Tai. I have no idea what tournament you're talking about. I'm assuming you're talking about Austin's event tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's West
That's
Virginia?
what, West Virginia.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of the name of this, the Huntsville, or I can't remember the name of this city or the little town.
Purcellville.
Can you, Lincoln?
Purcellville. It's at Harvest Gap Brewery, about an hour outside of DC.
And Austin's gone again.
I'll be right back. I'm looking up what it is. I don't.
He
hang
doesn't
on.
even know where he's going tomorrow.
Yeah, I do. You
I got
silly
it.
old-
I was just going to get in the fucking vehicle and drive until somebody told me to turn.
He's just
Yeah,
got
Motherfucker, we're in Albuquerque.
He's just
Yeah,
got
wrong turn
I
in
got
Albuquerque.
Turn in Albuquerque.
the time. I got the directions. He'll be there. He'll be
He'll-
ready, guys.
And yes, schoolgirl is getting fucked. I'm all over that.
Schoolgirl.
Oh, I was going to
Hillsborough.
lift his little skirt up and smack his little fanny.
You got to try and get his brother riled up so he'll get on the table with you.
Dude, I've been trying. If I was on a live on Engen's channel the other day with his brother Alex, and I planted that seed. Like, look, if I'm there and you're there, I'm pulling schoolboy right. You know, his left doesn't want any. You know why he doesn't want it left? They say it's because he tore something in his wrist, but they know they're not beating my left. So I was like, well, Alex, but they won't admit that, right? They say, no, well, he's injured. Okay, so I'll pull him right. Well, what about you, Alex? How's your left? Is it injured? I'll pull you left, him right. I will show up right smack dab in the middle between your two weights, and I'll please both. It would be fantastic if I could get me whooping both of your asses on your channel. But you got to post the videos on your channel after I win.
Right. There's no way they would do that.
Well, he promised to put the videos on the channel regardless of the results. But he says he's got a hard time getting to Turkey for the event. If his paperwork comes in time, he will be there and maybe we can pull. But he did just flat out say, yeah, Evan will beat me left-handed. He's just bigger and better. Which kind of sucked because I had so much to fire off on. And then he's just like, yeah, Evan's going to win. I'm like, I like talking.
Don't let me win that easily.
But being a bully is just it's really not that fun. You can't beat somebody that's already broken on that end, right?
They got to fight back for it to be fun.
It becomes less fun when they're just looking at their feet. Sorry, man. Wow. You're just picking on people now. Now you're an asshole. Now I feel bad. I'd rather drink beer and go pick on the one that's not broken yet because he will break. He will. I'm telling you, he will fucking break. Is Jeff Dabe any good? Thanks for the super chat, Kevin. And no, he is not. He is possibly the worst arm wrestler I have ever competed against that wins.
Sweet T beat him.
He's good at winning.
Right. He's good at winning. He is not good at arm wrestling in any way. He is really strong.
Yeah.
And his hand is fucking enormous.
Dude,
you know what? For as big as his hand is, it's not uncomfortable to get a grip with.
No, it's
his
very
thumb is way smaller than mine. So it's actually not that hard to get a grip with him. Yeah. Look, I love Jeff, and his wife Gina is fucking hilarious. We had a dance off to Taylor Swift the last time we got together. I won. But
I can buy it. I can buy it. Yeah, Jeff Dabe is, unique human, right? You pulling Jeff Dabe is an experience that you can really only get from pulling Jeff Dabe. And when you push into his hand and you feel like you're moving him, but you're really just getting further and deeper into whatever that hand is, and then it's a very hopeless feeling unless you have equal or more power than him or the speed.
I did not have more power than him when I pulled with him. Not the first time, but in a stop match, I was able to work myself into a position where his power got negated by my entire body connectivity. Right. But you got to at least be strong enough to not let him pin you until you can get there, which is
tough,
something on its own. So I would like to address this wall thing because I got a few people in the chat here saying, don't ever give in. Don't ever paint the wall. Maybe I won't. I might hang a banner over it because it's easier. But I had somebody saying that we should paint a mural of Ramrom Official on this wall. And if anybody wants to be the guy that comes and paints Ramrom Official on my wall, I am A-okay. I will supply all of the materials and the beers. You come paint that motherfucker on that wall. That's amazing. And yes, Ingen will allow us to record the matches. Ingen doesn't give a shit. It's a core sports thing that we're going to have to deal with, where they don't want any of our videos that we've recorded. So I'll have my buddy there recording on stage of all the matches. We're just not allowed to post it for 48 hours. Anything that's posted before then is going to be by them or Ryan Bowen, who steals everybody's everything money.
I think it's kind of funny the perception non-arm wrestlers have if they've seen Schoolboy's videos. I actually have a coworker that figured out I was an arm wrestler, and he goes, "You think Devin can beat Schoolboy?" And it's like, dude, you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. So I'm really hopeful that you 6-0 Schoolboy, just so I can like just knowing how many hearts will be broken from that.
I guarantee you, I
community
will
he's
not 6-0 Schoolboy.
or at least beat him.
There is no chance that I'm going to 6-0 him. All the matches are best 3 out of 5.
Oh, gotcha.
But Engen did say, because both Alex and I wanted the Schoolboy and I match to go all 5 rounds. Because Alex was talking about it's a shutout stake. So Schoolboy has to win 3 right away. So for the stakings, because Alex is buying up blocks like a motherfucker.
Oh, I'm sure.
As soon as anybody puts money on me, Alex is on it. Bam. He is sitting there with his fucking alarm clock attached to his fucking Stake Kings account and just like buying everything he can. He is that confident. And man, I'm not sure what my favorite part about this is. Is it that I get to beat Schoolboy, who's got that big name? Is it that I get to do it while talking so much shit and having 1.5 million people hating my fucking guts? Or is it that I get to take all of Alex's money and give it to all of the people that supported me? I love so much about this match. It's fantastic. So Alex wants the match to go a full 5 and promised that Schoolboy will hook me and beat me after he's won the first 3. So we both want our match to go 5 rounds, no matter what.
You should. Did you hear my what I wanted John to do to Devin back when they were having their match as like the ultimate troll because of the shutout stakes? I told John John should just do everything he can to beat Devin round 1. And then just give up the rest of the matches so that Devin can never know if he could actually beat him or not.
Right, because when you get paid $10,000 to show up and $20,000 to win, 20 grand's really worth throwing away just by saying to fuck you. You know what?
Right.
If money doesn't mean anything to you, if it meant nothing to me, like if I had enough money where I didn't give a fuck about 20 grand, I would totally do something like that just to get
so
fucked.
funny.
Eat shit, you motherfucker. You'll never know.
Just win 1 round and then kill the State Kings for him and then just laugh.
Win 1 round and be like, oh, you know what? I think I hurt my elbow there. See you later.
Peace out.
Good job. See ya.
Oh, that would have been fucking hilarious.
I
I don't need sign language to communicate with Schoolboy. I'm actually learning some Russian, so we're gonna have fun with that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a better chance of pending the shit out of Thor than I do beating Schoolboy in 1 round.
Oh, X Monster's coming in hard.
But he hopes I win.
But he hopes you win.
Well,
you are a big
X
bag of
Monster,
shit, but I hope you win.
I would love to fight Thor. I will definitely put a pounding on the schoolgirl. And then I might come a pounding on your mother if you keep talking.
Oh, man.
According to my very, very detailed and in-depth research within Pornhub, pounding people's mothers makes money.
Very popular.
Keep talking.
Very popular.
Does he have a stepsister too? Because that would just be the icing on the cake for that one.
Why do I worry about a step anything? It ain't my sister.
We were just talking about what's popular on the hub there.
Yeah, but look, there's no real sister fucking videos on Pornhub because it's illegal. But it would be there. It would be there. There is some twisted motherfuckers. You ever met somebody from like Kentucky? Every one of them would fuck their sisters. They're retarded.
Thank God I'm an only child. Woo!
I saw pictures of you at a fucking concert with your cousin.
Yeah, but did you see the chick that was on my shoulders?
How's the baby?
That's my other cousin that was with me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Well, at least the girl that was on my shoulders with the titties out wasn't my cousin.
Right.
Silver lining.
Not my cousin either.
Second cousins don't count.
Second cousins don't count. Come on, Evan.
Actually, I'm pretty sure they do like legally and stuff. But hey, I don't judge anybody. Like, I don't give a fuck. Do what you got to do, man.
Each his own, buddy. No, I'm just.
Yeah,
I
Kevin.
mean, you can get one of my cousins for like $50. It's like no big deal.
Yeah, me and you both, buddy. I got.
No. I'm not doing my
Barstown
cousin
Road
with
here
you
and hang
for
out at one of the
$50.
freaking.
Dude, this is getting out of hand.
Kevin
No.
Courage in the chat says, "Closer the kin,
saying
better
you
the
get
skin."
it
Attaboy, Stacy. Schoolgirl is a piece of candy, and I'm good.
Yeah.
I am going to fuck Schoolgirl up just so like all 6 of you guys that believe in me are proud.
Yeah. I like it.
Hurrah!
I've got some State Kings money on you.
Okay, boys, if we are going to continue shooting the shit and having a good time, that is A-okay with me, but I do have to take a piss at some point tonight.
Hey,
Okay,
well-
Alan Ford, I will do that right before I take a piss because, you're Alan Ford.
Be a man and take a piss. Right.
Hang on now. Alan Ford wants me to chug a beer.
Just
Now,
do it off
I am
camera.
not that great at shotgunning and chugging out of glasses, but I can down these motherfuckers real quick.
Oh, it's Bush. Ah,
That was pretty quick.
I am the beer man.
The beer
Okay, I do have to take this piss. I will be right back.
And there he goes, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh.
So what, Austin, I don't know if you were here when we were talking about predictions for the big matches that are coming up tomorrow. What are your thoughts on Travis? Is this going to be real Travis? Is it fake Travis? Is it what's happening here?
I've been talking to Travis a little bit, and I know he's focusing on his kids and their football careers, but I know Travis also really does not like to lose. So I got a feeling that we'll see a good, solid Travis tomorrow. Whether it's the real Travis or the fake Travis, I couldn't tell you, but I got a feeling he's getting off his ass some, to kind of rear back up because, some of the things he was saying and some of the things we talked about, I think he's gearing up to come back. There's no thinking to it. I think he is. So, he is.
Well,
So
I hope he is, because if obviously we have proof that he certainly could, right? And make some, see the money that's waiting for him. I figure, all right, you come out, you have a nice little opener match, you start building things up. By the end of the year, here he is at king of the table, something like that, where he can make a big play.
Now, right-handed, I know Travis is, really, really good, but his left is superior. Travis's left is just, it's on another level when it comes to locking and being able to pivot his body. It never wants to stretch. And if you watch him, he never stretches ever. When he loses, his shoulder almost touches the pad at the same time. You've never seen Travis King's move, and you never will. So,
but that's because
I
he
don't know,
can.
though. I think he's
Don't
gonna
drink
be
the
definitely good
Kool-Aid
tomorrow.
and just every time Travis says something, repeat it on every fucking show you get on. It's ridiculous.
No, I don't pay it. Honestly, I don't pay attention to Travis that much.
I've watched his arm get ripped
Travis
open plenty of
personally-
fucking times.
You've
He's
seen
full
him
of
stretch?
shit. He just says that. He just said it yesterday, and here you are saying it again. This is why everybody thinks Travis is so good, because he'll say something and somebody else just keeps saying it. And
Well,
yeah,
I'm definitely-
Gizmo, I do pee. What I sit down to pee most of the time. Whatever. I got a sore back. Okay, fuck you, man.
Even with whatever
Evan, you
Evan
get-
just
you get
said,
taped right.
yeah, Travis Bajan's left. Yeah, it's something different.
It is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when Travis, he literally was just talking about how nobody can turn his hand over or like rip his arm open. They're just strong enough to pull his whole body. Everything stays locked. And that's just simply not true. We've seen it too many times. You can watch all of his losses, and sometimes his arm just comes open.
Yeah.
He's not that fucking goddamn strong here that you're just throwing a 280-pound man over. Check people's side pressures and give that any resistance out the hand as well, and see who can do 280 pounds.
Yeah.
It's not a real fucking thing. He's
No.
full of shit.
Repulsive Gravity with a question here. John, why do you not like Travis? Isn't he the perfect heel? He is a very good heel, but think about this. All right, Evan, you'll get this. Maybe if you guys watch pro wrestling, you'll get this. Remember back to the 80s when Hulk Hogan was red and yellow, the biggest guy in the world, and Bobby the Brain Heenan was on commentary, and he was always against Hogan, right? He was always against Hogan. Then later in the 90s, when Bobby Heenan went to WCW, and so did Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan became a heel, Bobby the Brain Heenan still hated Hulk Hogan. He did not flip-flop. He did not go and say, oh, well, Hogan's a bad guy now, I'm going to hate him. I just continue to hate Travis Bajan because it is really fun to hate on Travis Bajan.
Well, I mean, it's easy to jump on the bandwagon and enjoy. And look, I enjoy the antics. I happen to use some of that shit, those tactics myself. I don't hate Travis because of that persona. I hate him because I think he's a piece of shit of a person. Right? It's a personal animosity where if I got the chance to, like, I would take it. And that's from the one interaction I've ever had with the man where I had to tell him, like, look, I will punch you in your fucking mouth if you don't leave me alone right now. And he realized, you know what? I should probably leave you alone right now. And he left. So, yeah. Anyways, that Bobby the Brain Heenan thing, that's fairly accurate, except Hogan was still way over. Do you know how hard it was for Hogan to go from the biggest face to have ever been to turn heel? He couldn't do it. I mean, even with all of that nonsense that they pulled, he still couldn't get away from being a fan favorite. He couldn't get hated. It took a long time.
Yeah, certainly did. But the years before he turned, he, like, Hulkamania was not running very wild. It was running mild, if anything. And there was some low points in there. And I think Hogan is just one of those guys that arm wrestlers should actually look at and say, Hogan sucked at wrestling, except for the few things that he did. He did a few things really, really well, and he drew. But he was not he was not a Bret Hart. He was not, he
was way better than Bret Hart. Way better. Now, if you look
not
at
a better wrestler, how drunk are you?
I'm pretty good. But if you're looking at technical wrestling ability, no, Bret Hart, definitely the man.
Yes. But
in
Hogan
that
could draw.
comparison. But when it comes to telling the story in the ring,
Yeah.
it's different. And Hogan was very good at that. Now, in a cartoonish overboard way. But in the 80s, that shit got gobbled up. People believe that.
People still love it now.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, he was better at the story
Yes.
than most dudes.
That's what I
And
mean when I
he
said
was such a
Hogan
big,
sell.
strong dude. Whenever the way he would set up, like, I mean, Hogan only had a few moves, but when he would set up and you pick somebody up, and is it going to be on the knee or is he coming right down on the drop? Right. And then if he would actually bring them right over, it got such a huge pop. It was crazy the way he could set things up that it had the fans invested on what's going to come next. The guy was incredible, not so much at his like physical gifts of wrestling, but the way that he could control a crowd. Dude, apparently we have very different views on Hulk Hogan.
Dude, you literally just said the exact same fucking thing that I was trying to make a point of, and then you interrupted me to make the point I was in the middle of making.
Well, I hope I made it better than you. I wasn't listening to whatever you said. My bad, man. My bad. I thought you were arguing with me.
No. Oh my
Well,
god.
fuck me, right? I guess I'm a dick. This is why you hated me for so long.
See, back to what we were saying though, what even got us in that topic was about the respect we have for Travis, or the reasons why we don't or do like Travis. I have to give credit to Travis because I mean, I graduated high school in 2009 and Pullin' John got released in 2009. When I watched that documentary, dude, it changed my life. I thought to myself, because I played 17 years of football and I had the Jacksonville Jaguars and the 49ers look at me. And I told myself, if I'm not going to play pro football or be in the NFL, I'm either going to cage fight or I'm going to arm wrestle. Because my senior year, the Game of Arms came out and Travis ran that too. So in my mind, I'm sitting here thinking, this fucking dude's such an animal that he beats, you know, he doesn't beat John Brzezinski, but he goes through and beats everybody in Pullin' John. And he's a young man there. And he grew up dirt poor and all this stuff. And then in the Game of Arms, he rapes everyone too, besides Dave Chafee. And I'm like, this dude, and then, after I meet him, he's still a cool, funny dude to me. I hate you guys have the view you do on him, but I have to thank him for almost getting me into the sport because when I first saw Travis, bro, I wanted to punch him in the face. My goal was I'm gonna whip his ass if I ever get out of football. Like I'm gonna rip his arm off. It hasn't happened yet, but I used to think that his running his mouth and all that stuff was really how he acted. And yeah, he does like to talk a lot, but he's a lot nicer off the table than he is on, I think. But
I'm pretty sure our first social interaction was you threatening to beat the shit out of me on Facebook.
Oh, wow. Well,
probably deserved though.
That's not too cool, but
whatever. I may have provoked. I don't know.
That's like 70% of the people that meet Evan threaten to harm him in the first 30 seconds of knowing.
Look, there's a big difference between wanting to whoop my ass and being able to do it.
Yeah,
in your lane.
And it is a long way away.
We got the white Kimbo over here. Watch out.
You know what? I was actually known as Jimbo Slice, Kimbo's white cousin, for like 6 years. And that is a fact.
Where do you think I got it, bub?
I have probably a few warrants out there under that alias.
Hey, listen, guys, Evan, John, Lincoln, I will see you tomorrow. Alex, it was great talking to you guys, but I got to try to get some rest tonight. I got to get up bright and early. I got a 10-hour drive tomorrow.
Well, we do want you to drive safe. I mean, the sleep's not going to help your performance. You're getting fucked up. But I wish you the best, and I do want you to drive there safely.
Thank you, Evan, and I appreciate you all having me on here. I can't thank you enough. If y'all ever want to do this again with me, please reach out and let me know, man. I'll be more than happy.
Awesome.
I will have you on my show anytime you send me more pictures.
All right, bro. All right, Evan, John, Lincoln, I'll see you tomorrow. Alex, you guys be good, okay?
Take it easy.
Take care, buddy.
Wanna hop
Absolutely. Y'all be good.
I need to get some rest as well. You guys have a good night. Appreciate you letting me be on the show.
You as well, Lincoln. Take it easy, man.
All right, take care, buddy. So back to the chat and dealing with these guys. Alan, yeah, you fucking paid me to chug. I chugged the fucking beer. I chugged it like a goddamn man. You didn't pay attention because that's how you act. But whatever, Alan. Fuck, thank you, I guess.
Alan, too good for steroids, Ford.
Yeah, like what a wiener.
Jesus.
Am I the only one here that thinks Lachlan is going to win tomorrow?
No.
I think that Lachlan, like, I don't by any stretch of the imagination think that he's completely out of it, but I do back Todzilla.
I'm not putting money on anybody,
Neither.
but if you gave me money that I had to bet, it would be on Lachlan.
Ooh.
Yeah. I had a fan, Stacy here. He said super chats kind of fuck him around. So he just sent me money directly and said, put that on you.
Oh, nice.
And if you win, you get more. But if you lose, you kind of get nothing.
I like that. I
loved it.
Yeah.
And it's like giving me 1.7 of what you're actually giving me.
That's not bad at all.
I am definitely winning. I don't know anybody else how they feel about this, but if you're planning on driving like across the fucking world, I'm not going there to fucking lose.
Right.
You know,
this is a lot of effort. It's not like I'm driving 45 minutes to some fucking local karaoke bar for a fucking event. Right? Like I am not showing up not at the very fucking best. The best I've ever seen from Schoolboy is not going to win this match. He needs to show up better than he ever has for him to get anything done.
I'm just shocked at how many people are under the Schoolboy spell. They're like, ooh, Schoolboy, you beat people in New York at Times Square. You're the best. I expect it. I expect it to affect most of the arm wrestling uncensored crew. But like it affects everybody all the way up the chain. These guys are out of control.
Well, the thing is,
pick on us arm wrestling uncensored guys. We know a little bit about some stuff. Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
those million followers
that behind the things that I'm saying, but if people knew who Rick Heidebrecht was, like if that guy ran his mouth the way I do,
oh God,
everybody would know who that dude is,
and they'd be terrified of him,
right? But the fact is, I've beaten him the last 8 in a row. Right now, Conrad Rousseau, this is a dude that I had never beaten before. But I know how much better I've gotten, and I wanted him to show up at his very best, and he showed up like 30 pounds bigger than ever before, and the guy looked like a fucking gorilla. When I showed up, Devin looks at me, he's like, Evan, I don't know, man. Conrad looks fucking yoked. I'm like, I don't care, dude. Like, I am so ready to fucking go, and I know those steps that I've taken, the ladder, there's rungs. And you feel yourself every time you take one of those steps. You literally reach down and feel yourself like, yeah, I took that step. It's a good time. And I know where I've went and how much higher I've gotten. And like Conrad, these guys don't know him in the States. No. This guy's won the MGC with wins on like top guys from the States. I would actually have to look back. I don't follow his career as closely as I follow like, mine. But he's got the winning record on RVJ, and when you win the 220 pound class at the MGC,
it's the real deal.
You're a fucking good arm wrestler. Look back at who has won the MGC in the 220 pound class like the whole way through, and these guys are fucking Hall of Famers, every one of them. You don't win that without being there, right? And he shows up 30 fucking pounds bigger, and I still just walk through him. Right. So it bugs me a little bit how little respect Canadian arm wrestlers get on a grand scale when the top guys from Canada could walk through so many fucking tournaments, yet because we're Canadian and we don't travel that far because it's fucking crazy for a trophy, right? Everybody's just sucking their dicks of all these Americans that aren't that fucking good.
Well, Evan, I don't know if you've thought about this, but Benny has a really good comment. I really think you should think about this very deeply and carefully. So I don't think you've thought about this before. He says, Schoolboy has some practice stuff where he looked pretty tough against Todd Hutchings. Do you ever see that video in that practice?
I saw the video. Yeah, I don't think I ever put any thought into it, I guess. Oh, wait. I know exactly what fucking video you're talking about. They arm wrestled for 2 straight fucking days, 6-hour practices. Schoolboy didn't show up the first day. Everybody else did. They showed up the second day. And then Schoolboy sat in the corner for 4 fucking hours while Devin and Todd Hutchins and all these other guys are going at it. And then they get some videos of him beating Todd Hutchins easily. But it's after like 10 hours of arm wrestling in 2 days.
Wait.
Couldn't beat Devin.
Wait,
Devin shows up at my house on a random fucking Tuesday night and I get lots of wins.
No, Benny's explaining himself further. He says, yes, but his levers were a problem for Todd.
Well, yeah. Your fucking lever's going to be a big problem for a guy that can't fucking have the strength to hold anything down. It's like, fuck. If you get the flu and you can't hold food down and then I feed you moose meat, you're going to have a fucking hard time. And I'm going to sit here and just eat that shit up because that's what I do every day. I fucking wait for people to get tired and smash them. And now you're all fucked up. I feed you something that you can't deal with anyways. And now you're going to get fucked. Get the fuck out of here. I will seriously take a shit on your fucking face if you talk to me like that as a person. I'm not okay with these fucking pricks talking like this, man. It's ridiculous. There's no way you can actually think like this and still have anybody consider you a credible person. You are out of your goddamn mind.
You heard it here first.
There's videos of Schoolboy arm wrestling Devin. I think it was at a bar. I think it was when
Same
the
fucking practice that we were just talking about.
Is that the same
Zombie
event?
It was after the Arnold Classic got canceled from Corona.
Right. Okay, I didn't know that was the
showed
same
up and
event.
arm wrestled anyways, and nobody died.
Yep. Yeah, my coworker brought up that same
Except
video to me.
Todzilla's career, apparently, because Schoolboy won. Fuck. You know, he beat Roger Cunningham, too. And if that were to happen in a fresh match, that's legit. Roger's that's a bad dude.
Yeah.
But when Roger gets his shoulder buried all the way in, and then
Can't
you
do
just come
anything.
through him like nothing, get the fuck out of here. It's not a real thing. It's not. I watched the videos from the day before when Devin and Roger met shoulder to shoulder, and Devin looked around and said, Evan. He literally, you can watch the video where Devin and Roger go shoulder to shoulder, and then Devin looks at the camera and says, Evan, this dude wants you. You better be ready because this is going to be a good one. Right?
I think I
and then the
remember
next
that.
day, Schoolboy goes right through him, so they use that too.
Right.
The fuck out of here. Because Roger wasn't going shoulder to shoulder with nobody all day because he was fucked. It was the second day of a 4-hour practice. They
Right.
called this shit Zombie Fest for a reason because nobody could fucking see straight by the end of it. They were fucked.
Roger is ungodly strong.
Ungodly as in like below God level. Roger's good, but he's fucking retarded.
He's just ridiculous to grip up with. Like
You
he's
know
got
what's
those.
also impressive about Roger? Every single video he puts out of him catching fish, you don't see him catching the fish. You just see him holding the fish. I bet you he actually shows up to fucking like stream edges. It's like, I'll give you $20 if you let me take a video with your fish. He's also shit at welding. He needs a
The
grinder.
worst welder ever. Have you seen any of that garbage?
He's stolen valor fishing
And welding.
and welding.
Roger is actually probably one of my very favorite American arm wrestlers.
He's hilarious.
And that's like the biggest piss off of the bottom 8 getting canceled is that I never got to fucking pull Roger. That would have been so fun.
Oh my
Michigan
God.
can't be too far for you. I think I looked it up
It's
once.
not the drive that's the problem. It's
Crossing borders.
well, currently with all of this nonsense, yeah, it's tough. But trying to fit an event for the two of us just to link up into a super match, that takes us both out of the event. Like, I know where he's going, I know where I'm going, and the winner is fucked. You know, the loser's just fucked worse. Neither one of us are finishing above 10 in like a 6-man tournament after that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we're going to meet shoulder to shoulder and his is going to break eventually.
That's going to be good when it does happen. It'll happen sometime. But
Well, we tried to set it up left-handed for like a while.
Yeah.
And Joe Gould wanted to have it on an arm melter, but we just couldn't get it to fit.
She said.
And then his left got shit, but his right got real good. So then we tried to set it up right-handed. And again, it was just like, we will at some point, even if it's just me driving to his fucking house.
What's he walk around at for weight now? Like 220-ish?
Well,
he has
was
been
like
pulling in the
240, and then he was
198.
down at like 190.
Yeah, he's been pulling in the 198s. He won the
Lord.
198 at Michigan State's, and then the last tournament that him and I were at just like a month ago, he was in the 198s. He went against Artem under 200.
Right.
So I think he's heavier now because he's getting ready for Brandon. So I've heard that he's like 210, 215.
That's good. Well, he can support that because he's freaking tall as hell.
Yeah, he looks really thin when he's at 198 until you grip
Yeah.
up with him and you see his forearm, and then you go, oh shit, that's where he holds it all.
Yeah.
Hey,
I,
look at this ex-monster guy. Like, I want to hate him, but fuck, he's funny. Dynamic White. What color paint is that on the right wall? Well, I mean, that's my right, and it's not painted. But I mean, that's probably your right, and I got no clue. So I hope I answered your question. Thanks for the super chat. I don't know what to tell you. Some fucking beige cream bullshit. Like, I don't know, fucking taupe. Fuck.
Oh, here's a good one from Arm Wrestling Uncensored. What do you think about Grant Diet accusing Jody Williams of being on juice due to his pointy elbows?
Well, clearly he has pointy elbows and he's geared out of his mind. Also, it's Grant Diet. Just so you know.
Needs to go on a diet.
I'm okay with you calling him Diet.
I am not calling that guy his real name. Say ever. Never.
His real name is just more fun to say, though.
Yeah, well, that's true too.
Grant needs a diet.
I did see he got his hair cut. I saw that.
It pisses
Yeah,
me off.
You and him could be
is
twins.
ruining beards for real men. The guy lives in his mother's basement and can't fucking change a lug nut. Fuck that guy. He's not. Why does he get to grow a beard? What a piece of shit.
I think he needs to just shave his head completely bald now and just go.
Oh
for the,
man, no, he doesn't. I've seen him with a shaved
Yeah.
bald head, and he looks like that dude off powder. He should not be shaved. He should not have hair. He should not exist. That guy is he's a fuck up on all levels. He should just not be around.
Now you know what you need to do, Grant. Shave your head bald,
His
get
hair
the mustache out a
and
little farther.
face piss me off more than your hair and glasses.
Whoa.
Saying a lot.
Dude, seriously. If I could punch a screen and you could feel it, my computer wouldn't exist anymore. Like, it's been a long time, all night.
I've been holding this rage.
At
Not
the end of that
angry,
last
he just
at the end of
those
that last
glasses
tournament.
really bring up his punch appeal.
I've got good punch appeal for sure.
Yeah, no, you do. Like, it's actually impressive.
You should see how
I would
many
love to hang
DMs I
out with
get.
you just to see how many times you get punched in the face if like we're out and about in my neck of the woods here.
Do you want to know something surprising? I have never been punched, not once.
I promise you it would happen if you hung out with me. Not by me,
First time for everything, right?
but by somebody. Most of my friends aren't as tolerant as me.
I think Roger might be on that list of people that might want to punch me.
Yeah, well, he's like 173 pounds now. What's that going to do?
Yeah. The last tournament, there was some footage of me and him on the practice table, and I got a pin on him. So I just cut out everything else.
I actually saw that. I didn't know that was you.
Yeah, I posted that video of me getting a pin on him, and he DMs me and tells me, he's like, "You're gonna pay for your sins." Like, oh shit.
Dude, the last message I got from Roger was in Russian.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it.
He's
fucking
gonna rip
hilarious.
my arm off. I've never actually had to compete against him. We've just never ran into each other in the bracket. I'm always knocked out of the bracket before I run into him.
Yeah, well, he's busy winning. It's tough.
Yeah. But I've gripped up with him like warming up or just practice pulling. Yeah, he's
So,
gonna,
like, at some point, are you planning on getting better at this, or
I'm slowly but surely, man. I'm
gonna
only
wear
about
stupid
3 years
glasses
in.
and have
3,
that
4 years in.
fucking hair? That you know what? I'm telling you right now, if you were to like have a proper haircut, so people didn't think you were a fucking idiot the first time you walked in, they would be a lot more likely to actually teach you something instead of being like, you know what? This guy's a fucking douchebag. I bet you he's just trying to grow a man bun. We should just break his fucking arm so he doesn't bother us anymore. And that's why he thinks everybody's just hammerhead style all the time. Because nobody wants to actually teach him anything.
They're taking out their punch appeal. They're taking out my punch appeal on my arm is what they're doing. They're like, I could hurt this fucking guy.
I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat would agree with me. You look like somebody that's definitely going to call the cops if somebody punches you.
My hair is
They call his lawyer.
yeah.
I got a lawyer on retainer, you motherfucker. My dad's rich.
My dad's lawyer. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm calling my daddy's lawyer.
All right. Well, here's the test though. So Alex, you've been pulling for 3 years.
Yeah.
When you go to tournaments, do you pull in the amateur category, the pro, the open?
Pro.
You're okay. So you are beyond the amateur level.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm pulling pro at tournaments. So the tournament, I got knocked out at the 200-pound class. They put me up against this guy who was just really bad for me, like stylistically. Just the angle that he pulled at was difficult for me to deal with. And then on the B bracket, I ended up against that same guy. So it was kind of annoying. But in the 220 class, so I did the 200 and the 220. I ended up second to Joel Hudick. So.
Oh yeah.
But,
that's not a bad place to be. That's good.
Yeah, but we don't know who ended up third.
Yeah, was there a third?
Yeah, the 220 class was pretty light. So
Joel Hudick, like, if that's the only guy ahead of you, okay, we know where you're not.
Right.
Yeah. But where are you?
How far below are you?
Who's that third guy? Right?
Yeah. And
because
like
if it's the 165 that also won the amateur class and just pulled 220s anyways and still finished third, like,
yeah, no, it was 220 guys.
I mean, if you're right-handed, 220 second place, has John Thompson third place right-handed?
Not good. Not good.
Right. Now, if Roger Cunningham's at third place right-handed and Joel's first place, or like Darren Bills, but that fat fuck can't make it 225. But you know what I'm saying? Like, who did you beat to get there?
Yeah, no, I don't think there was even any ranked 220 guys there, to be completely honest.
My bad, man. I didn't mean to bring it up.
Yeah. No, I've pulled a lot of the ranked 220 guys, and I've got pins on a lot of them. Depends on the day. The tournaments have been kind of sparse, and the ones I get to are even more sparse just because I work so damn much. But yeah, I'm getting better. Got a super match against Kyle LeVake at Michigan State's on April 2nd, but he's going to be way overweight. I didn't tell him he had to cut, which was probably a mistake.
What he's got like 4 months. How is he gonna be way overweight?
He's not cutting.
Oh,
So he's just going to
told him not to.
he asked me if I wanted him to, and I said I don't care. So he's like, all right, I'm not gonna. It's not for ranking or anything, so I don't care that much. But he's probably 30 pounds heavier than me right now.
Yeah, but there's not really like 200-pound top 40 ranking, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah, no, it'll just be for fun. But no,
You
Darren
should
Bills
go
is
after every competition that you think you could find a hole in that you can exploit. Anywhere that you can find yourself in a tough fucking match. You should,
right.
If you're in that, like your first 5 years. Now, some guys in that first 5 years find themselves right at the top of that pecking order, right? And some guys don't. Whatever. Not everybody can be that guy, right? Like, there's only going to be how many Travis Bajents or Devin Larratt's, Richard Lupkus, John Brzezinski. Like, there's only a few of those guys. Everybody else needs to fucking fight their way through the pack for years. And you should not be looking for wins in your first few years. You should be looking for the toughest matches. A tough match that you lose is way better than an easy win. Every time. Every fucking time. So that's what you should be looking for. I don't give a fuck about your weight. I want to get into a match that we're running 10, 15 seconds per round in.
Right.
That's where you're going to do all of your learning. And you're going to learn things that's not just, those tangibles at practice, like your techniques and stuff. You're going to learn something about yourself on how far you're willing to dig and how hard you're willing to fight. And that shit is way more important than an easy win.
There's a lot of tournaments coming up. There was supposed to be one next weekend that I was going to go to, but I literally tested positive for COVID like 2 days ago. So,
man, get the fuck off my show. I got to go to Turkey in a few weeks. Why the fuck are you on here?
You're sick through the screen, huh?
Oh man,
John, what did you do? Why would you let this guy in here?
I got to go to the UK before you got to go to Turkey.
Yeah, but I don't care about your UK. I mean, I do. Look, I do. I want you to win. I support you and all that, but I'm way more concerned with me going to Turkey.
I'm sure you are.
Why would you let him in here? He's going to kill us all.
Is it like the 5G thing? Is that how it spreads now?
I think that's how it works, actually. That's
spreads through Zoom too.
I think that was proven the other day.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I'm not actually able to read. I actually have one of my kids reading these the chats to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Believe that. I do.
Someone asks if I'm a Ryan Bowen fan.
Oh yeah. No, how much of a Ryan Bowen fan are you on?
Oh,
like I know it's a lot. Like it's a high number.
Is it?
Yeah, like practically 69.
Oh. No, I am.
Am I wrong?
I think it'd be really funny to get him on your show and then just invite me in the chat.
Oh God.
Just don't say anything.
Oh,
just
God.
have me appear and then wait for him to say something.
That sounds terrible. Sounds terrible.
Raw Torque, yes, I did help build Kazakh Dome. That happened. It was many, many years ago.
Oh.
So, David, what will its claim to fame?
I don't have any fame.
He does good memes every once in a while.
I made a handful of good Ryan Bowen memes and then he blocked me, so I got bored of that.
Not sure.
The one
I made a really good one with some kangaroos that I'm still quite proud of.
The kangaroo one was, what was the one with like those big rock guys with the big huge dongs or something? What was that one? That one made me laugh so hard. I can't even remember what it was about though.
Yeah, so it was Ryan Bowen wanting to be the #1 arm wrestler in the world. And then the next biggest guy was Lachlan.
Oh yeah.
And then anyone at Zloty. And then the biggest one was Danny Tesh.
Oh.
Yeah, that one was good.
Oh, that made me laugh a lot.
Danny Tesh. That's who we need at King of the Tables.
He's
Danny
gone.
Tesh.
He's gone.
Danny Tesh is not allowed at King of the Table because we already know who wins when his name's announced. So it's just unfair for everybody else. But Uncle John, if you could read that next super chat with like the enthusiasm that only Uncle John can do.
Carolyn Looms, $2 super chat. $2 that really wants to drive this point home, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Willett, I know you now. You are Bowen's #1 fan.
It's not true.
I don't believe you. Your fucking haircut points directly to being Bowen's #1 fan.
Does having punch appeal make me immediately a Ryan Bowen fan? Like if
Look,
somebody's got punch appeal,
As
they
the
have
only
to
guy
be
to
like Pro
ever
Bowen.
give Ryan Bowen a stone cold stunner. Yes. Yes.
Evan, your connection is shitting the bed. It may have shat the bed.
It
It's gone.
is fucked right off. I have no idea why.
Oh, I can hear you
Probably
now.
something
again.
to do with the storm, but I can't even hear you guys talking. We are freezing the fuck up.
Can you? I can see you now. I can see you now. Can you hear me? Can you hear nothing? Oh no! Oh no! Evan,
He's
you
leaving
better,
Ish, but I mean, we are losing shit real bad.
you better.
We're gonna have to end this.
You better just end it. We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I don't know what can or can't be heard. Hope we had a good time tonight. Evan, feel free to end this live stream or else it'll just be up forever and ever and ever. Alex, thank you for joining us tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me on. And I am going to be paying Ryan Bowen to watch this pay-per-view coming up, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
So if I can do it, everyone else can do it too. Go watch the pay-per-view on Ryan's channel.
Yes. Go watch the pay-per-view.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we are. We are still live as far as I
That's
know.
weird because everything crashed. My YouTube's down. Everything's gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you want to end this, all you got to do is go to the Zoom on that bottom right where it has more, and then click on that, and then it should say end live stream. And then whenever you want to end it, you just click that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's an end there, but yeah. I can't open anything. Everything's fucked now. My internet's shit.
Yeah. So we'll just wrap it up. We're kind of wrapping it up. Just hit end live stream. And
yeah.
then,
Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We had a great time. Uncle John, you are one of my favorite arm wrestlers in the world for sure. Unfortunately, Tim Bresnan exists for you, and you can't compete with that dude.
That's all right.
Alex Willett, I really hope you get a haircut and new glasses before I ever talk to you again. And
I'll make sure to have a man bun next time we talk.
Oh man, I might drive to Michigan just to cut it off.